little money. Baptist Heating and Air. Baptist Heating and Air. Helping people to be comfortable. Call 782-1900.
Baptist Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
It's Andy Moore Toyota in Avon, 5 miles west of 465 on US 36, and it's JMV. You got to eyeball what you want online, AndyMooreToyota.com, and then go out there and see my friend Jeremy Wilson. Talk to Moose, the two Chris's, and Andrew about how you can get in the car, truck, or van of your choice. It's the absolute best because of the way that they deal with you. I'm telling you, you'll continue to go back to Indiana's best. It's Andy Moore Toyota in Avon, 5 miles west of 465 on US 36.
The following commercial is sponsored by FeedThePig.org, an organization devoted to helping you save money. We will not entice you with messages like
lowest prices in town, dealer approved, certified pre-owned,
no obligation consultation,
nor will we brag about our
huge selection, enormous variety,
one-stop shopping,
everything under one roof,
or contingencies like
see store for details.
Prices and participation may vary.
Legal exclusions apply.
No purchase necessary.
or try to convince you that our product will give you
Leaner, tighter abs in minutes.
Perfect smile, porcelain veneers.
Freedom from those painful, embarrassing bunions.
because we simply want to help you public accountants and the Ad Council.
Need a little adult beverage to help you cope with this week's crazy weather? Well, Payless Liquors has got you covered 7 days a week and from 26 different locations. How about Canadian Club? The 175s are just $16.99. Bacardi Silver 175s $19.99. And Absolute 80 Proof 175s are just $25.99. Joe Got Rose Wine is just $9.99 a bottle. And Goose Island 15 packs $14.99 at Payless Liquors, where prices are always low to help pick you up. And online at PaylessLiquors.com. Don't pay more, get more, and pay less at Payless Liquors.
This is Indy Sports Center.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2,
W298BB, W228CX, Indianapolis.
The Boston Celtics host the Oklahoma City Thunder. Sunday afternoon at 1:30 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
What in the hell do you think you're doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get late.
Kick is up, and it is long enough, and it is good! Adam Vinatieri, at age 45, drills one from 57 yards out.
Was kept alive by Oladipo, and Sabonis with a left hand.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV, FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to the Purdue Boilermakers for letting us have something good to talk about.
Yo, man, it's not 3:15.
In hoop? No, I got to get it before 3:15. Yeah, 14 minutes early. And props to the Purdue Boilermakers for giving us the opportunity to talk about something hoops-wise around here. Good. Tony talked about IUPUI and Northern KY tonight. Maybe that's good, but Boilermakers last night in overtime. I will say this. I listened to a lot of it with the Cliz and my friend Rob Blackman, and here's one reason why. Because any collegiate game in that mausoleum of three fans known as the Bryce Jordan Center in State College is absolutely unwatchable. You guys all noticed this, right? And if you didn't, you probably didn't notice it last night. I don't know why, but FS1 did it last night. Big Ten Network always does it. I'm assuming they're using the same gear and the same mic setup. But you got like three fans there. And the mics are like right up the rear end or something because you can't hear anything else, hardly hear what is being said other than those three fans going, oh, it is just awful. Absolutely. You got to turn it off. Or in my case, and I'm glad because I like listening to the Clizzer and Rob Blackman, so that was good. But it is brutal to watch it on TV. You got to turn the sound down even if you're not listening to it on the radio. You just got to turn it down. I mean, hell, do your own play-by-play. It is brutal every time. I mean, really, a lot of what you see from Penn State in basketball is unwatchable anyway, but this makes it even more unwatchable, even when you just want to watch the team that you consistently root for. 99-90 in overtime last night. So let me say this. There was a bit of a save there, or, we would not have this to lean back on as far as a positive basketball topic around here of winning. Of winning. Yeah, we'll get to the one that didn't win last night in just a second, too, because I got a lot to tell you about that. So, a little college hoop last night with the Boilermakers in a win, make it now 6 consecutive. They're at home against Minnesota. That is coming up on Sunday. And, very good, because they're kind of carrying the flag right now. Got 2 teams this weekend, both Butler and IU, going to try to get up off the mat. Butler's at home against Seton Hall at noon tomorrow. IU, 6 o'clock, I think, tomorrow night in East Lansing against Michigan State. Dane Fife was on the show yesterday. We talked about that. And then the Pacers last night. And I know what you're saying. Well, at least your guy played well, and Miles did play well. But these guys, you just need to win something here. I mean, I still want this to be interesting. It's always been 4 games now. It's been something, hasn't it? I mean, the first game, it's the first game without Vic. That was Memphis. Second game, it was Golden State. Golden State full throttle. You don't have a chance. By the way, you watched Golden State last night. What happened to them, Tony? Without? Hello? They were playing without
Thompson.
Who? What happened last night? They didn't look full throttle last night, did they?
They lost to the
got
Philadelphia
throttled.
70, Joel Embiid.
Ugh, barf, Joel Embiid. Grah. Seriously, who do you like better? Who do you loathe more, Embiid or Cousins? I like Cousins more than I do Embiid. I think Embiid and Harden challenge for the guys I just like the most in the NBA. They're right there together. Anyway, we'll get back to that in a second. But, with that, Klay Thompson, wasn't so much full throttle last night, was it? If you watched that game. I was bouncing back and forth between that and watching Gonzaga play at BYU.
Man, I heard everybody got soda if BYU pull out the upset. I was wrong.
Oh, man. The WCC is, besides the Bulldogs, a crap fest. There's no – it's BYU. That was on the home hardwood last night. Now, anyway, we were bouncing back and forth watching that last night. Prior to that, it was about the Pacers. And nobody's going to give away any trophies or any prizes or no pats on the back. They did play better than they had in the previous 3 last night. I frankly don't think that means a damn thing because you end up losing the game anyway. What's disturbing is letting Terrence Ross. By the way, Terrence Ross, once upon a time, correct me if I'm wrong, scored 51 in the game. Look that up over there, Austin from Center Grove. Did Terrence Ross, once upon a time, have a 50-point game? He was actually one of the guys that I talked about last week, if you remember, that may all of a sudden become available. He probably added to the resume of, hey, if you're available, go out and get him last night with that 30-point effort against the Pacers. All right, what was the date? Terrence Ross, once upon a time, had 50 points. Austin from Center Grove win.
Yeah, it was January 25th, 2014, when he was on the Raptors. He was at home versus the Clippers. He had 51 points and 9 rebounds.
51 points and 9 boards going back some 5 years. And he goes for 30 last night against the Pacers. And that was really those moments. That was the biggest issue because they get rolling, take a lead. Terrence Ross knocks down some shots, and then they take it back. Miles has a good game. I mean, I thought Thad had a pretty good game, but everybody else. And Domas, what did I say earlier this week? Domas looks tired. And I know, again, I'm not trying to give you excuses about this thing right now, but he looks tired. He looked tired again last night. And while I realize that, again, they're not sleeping in the back seat of anybody's car in preparation to play a back-to-back, but let's face it, when was the last time that Domus looked like the Domus that everybody talked about, and this is why he should be starting? I love the guy to death, don't get me wrong, but my man is in a slump. And by the way, JJ's going to join us a little bit later on. Right? He's going to join us coming up on the show from Miami a little bit later on. Did you go back and check the tape?
He did.
Because we were still here. He didn't say this regarding Domas Sabonis, but did he call last night's game possibility a, quote, slump buster?
He did.
He said slump buster?
He did.
At this point in time, I think, whatever. Whatever. He said he used it. Do you have that audio anywhere? Because I think that's awesome.
I have to find it.
If you find it, let me know because I got to hear it. I did not hear the context in which it was used. But a lot of you gave me the heads up on it last night, and, yeah, they probably need it. Probably need, although it does not come in the form of Carmelo Anthony, everybody. All right? And I know as soon as Adrian Wojnarowski dropped the whole Carmelo Anthony about to be waived by the Bulls, all of a sudden it gets you to thinking. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, the guy could at least score 15 points a game, right? Does that? Yeah. No, and no. However, I kind of wonder. And again, we'll talk to JJ coming up a little bit later on. I kind of want to catch what the vibe he might have about it. Like a lot of folks, including sell tweeter Tony Donahue last night, suggest that, hey, now is the time. You just get rid of the guys you don't want to go into next year with and say the hell with it. You're still going to make the I guess, right? You're going to win a game here or there. You're still going to make the postseason in some form or fashion, but just go with it and worry about next year. And while through this 4-game losing skid and the fact that Victor Oladipo is not coming back, while I have thought about that so many times, I've also thought about this. You think Kevin Pritchard's going to let them go out this way this year with this group? Do you think he lets them go out this way? Or does he try to do something about it? Now, again, I know what you're saying. Hey, you're chief panic button presser right here. And I'm not trying to be, but let's face it. There are issues here. I mean, the last 2 games are not losses to a who's who of the hierarchy of the NBA. It's 2 crapwater teams that beat a team that's playing basically like crapwater right now. So I guess if you're playing like crap water, and given the fact that the old cliche is you're playing, it's who you are, the game, so I guess the Pacers are crap water right now, right? So that's how they're playing. So what do? I can't imagine. It's tough for me to imagine that Kevin Pritchard is going to go out like this or let it kind of fade this season like this. I don't know what that means. Do I expect some sort of measure prior to March the 1st? I guess, right? I mean, some sort of measure. I don't know if it's going to be Wes Matthews Jr. I mean, first of all, he's going to have to be cut loose. I think a lot of people are suggesting in the NBA that that's going to happen, but he would have to be cut loose. He would have to be bought out. I don't know if it's going to be by virtue of a trade. I don't know if you want to trade. I don't know. Or, I mean, maybe a lot of you are going to be right. Maybe you just stand pat and you just kind of grin and you bear it and you're playing for next year because, you know, all the potential dreams of goals that you had this year have certainly been shattered. But 0-4 is not at all how I thought this was going to go 4 games after Victor Oladipo was done for the season. I mean, this to me so far, it's been a level of bad, and everybody can talk about, well, it's going to take time, and these guys get together with one another. I mean, somebody's going to have to wave a magic wand on some of these dudes right now. I mean, it doesn't even look close to how they played without him, nowhere in the ballpark how they played with him. I mean, I would have to expect there are remnants, right, left with this team when it was pretty decent without him. You know, they certainly talk as if they have a great deal of pride. I find it a little bit hard to believe that something is not going to be done. I do. And not, again, to the measures in which, what could happen to the good, to the bad, whatever. I guess I don't see them again, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. I don't see Kevin Pritchard going out like this with this team. I just don't. And maybe I'll be proven wrong. Fourth straight loss last night. What do? I got a couple of Connecticut water questions of the day in the bag right here if you guys want to go that direction. I mean, what do? I mean, after 4 losses, I mean, it's pretty – the way that they played, I'm telling you, I would agree with a lot of you. The smart money's almost saying, screw this, nothing's going to happen. See what you can get, better position yourself for next year. But first of all, I don't know what you can get. I don't know what interest some of these guys might have, some of these other teams might have in guys that you're okay with leaving. I don't know where that might be. You rather do that, or would you rather go out there and see if you can cobble something together that helps this team out at least against the mid-level team? I don't know. I just didn't expect them to look like then they've looked bad. Last night wasn't bad, but when you put it in the context again of who they're playing, I mean, come on, man. Terrence Stinkin' Ross, 30 points. Come on. I mean, DJ Augustine at the free throw line, and I have to go back. If I remember, they were on the season 2-0 versus the Magic, and I want to say, Tony, the last time that they played Orlando, I think Vic had a big deal in that game, right? Didn't he kind of save them? Did he have a big game in that one?
Yep.
And there was no saving going on last night, and a lot of which is damn defensively. I mean, last night it was a lot about defensively. It was three-point shooting, and three-point shooting was an issue anyway. And three-point shooting was, again, an issue last night. Three-point shooting was an issue even with Vic. So certainly it's going to be even more of an issue without him. But that's kind of the way it looks right now. So we'll get your feel for it, direction. I find it hard to believe. I'll have to see it to believe it, and maybe it happens. I mean, maybe they just say, you know what? Yeah, we want 2 of these guys of the 5 expiring contracts, and these guys can go someplace else. And, again, we'll make something happen for the future if somebody wants them. How many people out there are going to be clamoring for one Tyreek Evans, who, by the way, I guess is down in Miami?
On his way.
Sore lower back, and Tyreek Evans, I guess, is going to be back when the Pacers next match up with the Heat. 0-4. Full-scale discussion, 239-1070. Email address is jmv@1070thefan.com. On Twitter at jmv1070, where I'm going to have a couple of Connecticut water questions of the day, one regarding that and the other. Who if there's going to have to end up being none of the above here, right? Who gets up off the mat this year? Of the Pacers, IU, and Butler. Who gets up off the proverbial mat? Any of them? Because I'm going to have to use a none of the above. I mean, is this just what it is rest of the way? I mean, I guess what you can view is maybe more easily the Pacers because they seemingly have a little bit of control on how this thing goes. IU is just like a rudderless ship right now. And Butler's not too far behind it. If they are behind it. They're in the dinghy right behind it. Rudderless. That sounds like a pretty damn good. That's a stout Connecticut water question of the day. Therefore, that's where we're going. I mentioned a little bit earlier, Carmelo Anthony is about to be waived by the Bulls. Probably not for me. I know a lot of you other guys. I should be. And granted, and somebody called me out on it, and that's exactly what you have to do. Because I own stuff around here. We don't say stuff and then run from it and act like it never happened. Some people do that. I don't. So I get called out and say, hey, you know what? You're going to feel like Carmelo as you did with Antonio Brown. I can tell you right now, I do not feel similar. Now, granted, I was in Kansas City, and I watched that up close and personal, and I said, yep. Something's got to be done. You got to have a playmaker out here. A healthy T.Y. would be great, but a playmaker out here is what you're going to have to get in this elite Final Four type of category. So I saw that. I just can't bring myself to tell you that the difference between the Pacers we have seen 0-4 without Oladipo recently and what could be a better team, a more winnable, situational type of team. It's a lot of big words right there. I just can't grasp that Carmelo Anthony would be the answer. Well, hold on a minute. There's a reason why he had to be here last week. I mean, the guy is just like throwing down shrimp cocktail at San Elmo like it's going out of style. You think he's here because there just aren't any good restaurants in Chicago? I guess. Thank you, Austin. I just can't bring myself to it right now. I did. I changed on Antonio Brown. I changed on playmaker regardless of, well, you know what? I don't know if he's going to fit in the locker room because, this cohesion in here is just so great. The cohesion is great. Well, here was what wasn't so great. I mean, nobody could get damn open. That's what part wasn't great. I mean, nobody could get open. New England got some guys open. Nobody could get open. At least the game I watched at Arrowhead about 3 weeks ago. So my mind changed there. I'm not proud of it, but it did. My mind changed there. I'm not quite sure that I'm ready to go that route as the rest of you right now. That's something else we'll talk about coming up in a minute, too. 40 years ago tonight, I remember exactly where I was. I'm sitting at home on my couch, Owensburg, Indiana, 9 years old, watching Larry Bird at Indiana State play a then Mo Valley Conference game on the road in Las Cruces, New Mexico, against New Mexico State. And they had a regular season unbeaten streak in jeopardy. Larry Bird fouls out. Bobby Heaton, who is, I think, in the House of Representatives in the state of Indiana. He's a politician out of Terre Haute now. He's an insurance guy, financial dude, but he was from Clay City, Indiana. Really good player in high school. I think spent his first 2 years maybe outside of Indiana State, somewhere like Denver, and then came back to Indiana State and played. Hit a half-court shot. I don't know if, Tony, if you watched. That video is great. The video is fantastic.
Larry's pass?
I think it's from WTHI. Did you see the Larry Bird pass over the head?
Yeah.
The outlet pass is awesome. Larry Bird fouled out in that game in regulation. So essentially, Indiana State had to win that game, had to tie it with a half-court shot by Bobby Heaton of Clay City to send it into overtime. Did you see that part? Did you see the cheerleader roll over on the baseline? The man leader kind of rolled over. Because everybody, it was funny. There are spots in this. Once Larry Bird goes in the crowd for a loose ball and got into it with a bunch of fans. The cheerleaders are all on the floor, like pointing and talking junk and stuff. It is great. The late great Bob Forbes of WTHI in Terre Haute was on the call. It was outstanding. I'll play a bit of that a little bit later on if I can get Tony to retrieve the audio of it. But the Heaton half-court shot for the tie was fantastic, and they win in overtime 40 years ago. Tonight, I remember exactly where I was. I was watching it as a 9-year-old. It was incredible. Incredible. 40 years ago tonight. All right, the Senate bill, Tony brought this up because we're going to do some prop bets a little bit later on for the Super Bowl. The Senate bill votes on Wednesday to bring a casino to Terre Haute or to vote and possibly bring a casino to Terre. My God, Terre Haute so needs a casino. At some point, Honey Creek Square is not going to be enough. You need a casino. All right? Now, granted, I know how a casino goes in Terre Haute because we had a pseudo casino going back in 1993 at 8th and Crawford. And it goes over really well, Tony. Sports betting in Terre Haute goes over well. And it's not going to instantly turn us all into scumbags in this state. Mm-hmm. Some of us already are scumbags. But it's not going to, like, I don't think I'm scummy, but I'm certainly a bag. Like, I know that I'm a huge bag, so I'm half of the scumbag. So Terre Haute with a casino, sports betting legally in the state would be awesome. And getting, for the love of God, seriously, gaming tables? I mean, how do you even have to ask that? I mean, how do you go up there and with all due respect to Indiana Grand and Hoosier Park, how do you sit down and play against something on a video and not think, well, I'm just getting completely screwed out of my mind right here?
They always hit the 20 or 21.
Come on, man. Come on.
I had a 20, and they flipped to a 21? What the hell?
This video chick with her video cleavage hanging out here is come on. How is let them have table games, for goodness sake. It's not going to turn us all evil. We're not all going to be scumbags. Grant, a lot of us already are, all right? You already are. It is not going to expedite the process of you, because if you're on the path to being a scumbag, you're probably going to make it there without the help of table gambling, I'd imagine. So let's get this thing going here. I know you guys probably won't, all you lump of coal up your butt people voting and doing whatever. That's probably not going to happen, but we're all going to be okay. And then maybe you make some money in other areas. Let's do it.
Do you think that they would regulate to where you can't bet on games in this state?
I don't know.
Because what if you had Ed Carpenter last year, who was running second, and you're drunk and you got $100 on him, and you throw a full can of Skull out on the damn track, and they have to throw a yellow. So the fine and the prosecution
for that. Did you say throw a can of Skull on the track?
Or whatever. And so there's
a can of Skull on the track.
The fine and the prosecution is going to have to be incredibly major, so that people aren't going to obviously want to do that.
All right, we got a lot on the table here today. Let's get to it. Bob Lovell's going to join us too. Jeremiah Johnson a little bit later on. Mike Wells, Don Fisher. Busy show. Got a lot for you. So let's just take a deep breath and come back and talk a little bit about what I just brought up. Back with you next.
How much do you need to save for retirement? Hi, I'm Rick Edelman, founder of Edelman Financial Engines. The question's simple, but the calculation can be complex. How much you need to save for retirement depends on how much income you want, what outside sources you'll have, like Social Security and pensions. And here's the good news. You don't have to guess. We can give you the answer. For more than 32 years, we've shown people just like you how much you need to save for retirement and how to invest it. And now's your chance. Call us for the personal financial advice and investment management services you need, with local offices to serve you. At Edelman Financial Engines, we're happy to help you whether you have a little to invest or a lot, or anything in between. Come see why thousands of folks just like you rely on Edelman Financial Engines. Call us at 888-PLAN-RIC. That's 888-PLAN-RIC. Or visit us at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com.
Oh, Royal Spa.
Dan Dockage here. Thanks to KeyBank, the official banking home of the Indiana Pacers, we can keep making financial progress here and, of course, keep growing basketball here. KeyBank, use the red key, and remember, KeyBank is a member of the FDIC.
Sports with Dan Dockage.
Is there anything to our locker room can handle this guy?
I don't know if we're quite there. I think we're getting close, but I don't know if we're quite there. Just because you win doesn't mean you have it right. We're not taking a victory lap. We're going to start over at square one. That's what you do every year. I mean, last year's over. Great year. Good look back on when we're done, but that's over.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon till 3 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
I am in charge of this situation. Well, I got some bad news for you. Come up here, then look like you're in charge and check.
On FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Get that lump of coal out of your butt. Let's get going here. Let's make a little money. One doesn't simply turn into a scumbag. Oh, yeah, whatever. I know. Is that like Little House on the Prairie around here, Paul? Come on. Chris Hill says, I'm officially on the JMV bandwagon. Why not? Let's all jump on this bandwagon. We're going to have some fun. We're going to keep it between the lines. Going to make a lot of sense out of things. Sean Patrick Turley writes this. The best thing about that video you sent with Indiana State and Mexico State 40 years ago was the cheerleaders' reaction after the shot. It is absolutely priceless. Jim Gilmore says, I think Heaton's shot was more like three-quarter court. Probably so. He banked it home. And see, those were the days that we're not talking breakaway rims. Remember when the rims used to be like welded up there tight? Like you would miss, like now you can get friendly bounces everywhere, right? With breakaway rims, some better bounces than others. Back then, if you miss one just a tad bit long, that thing's probably going to bounce back, carry them back to half court. Seriously. Remember the days of tight rims? I mean, brutally tight rims. JMV, what was the skid we had last time Vic went down before we turned the corner? Not saying it's looking great right now, but yikes. This year, the Pacers, and thank you, Austin and Center Grove, for coming up with this, our intern, 7-8 without Vic this year. They were 7-4 until the 4 most recent games without him. So 7-8. A year ago, they were 0-7. And that's why it said the last 3 games prior to last night, because we were talking about it yesterday, that the first 3 games without him during this stretch reminded me of the 0-7 mark last year. Lose at home to Dallas. Turner, Collison, Lance had 16. You lost at Chicago. Collison had 30 in that game. Minnesota at home, loss. Joe Young had 20.
Oh, man. Where's he at?
Milwaukee, loss. And we're talking about some losses here. Like 122-101. Sabonis had 24. Bogdanovich had 29 and another loss to the Wizards, 111-102. Lost to Charlotte, 119-93. TJ Leaf, Darren Collison, and Glenn Robinson III had 13. And Miles had 19. They lost to Boston by 10. They were 0-7 a year ago.
We've had a lot of people that want Glenn Robinson back. I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, if you're going to do it, you kind of have to do it. You know what I mean? You just can't. To me, with all due respect to Glenn Robinson III, that's kind of halfway going about it then. That to me is more like just trying to make it to the finish line here. Maybe that's what they end up doing. Maybe that's exactly what they end up doing. But it occurred to me last night in thinking about it that I'd be surprised if Pritchard wants to see the season go out the way that is on right now. And just because you're looking at things, talking about things, making fun, you're doing your job, there's nothing to panic about here. But, I mean, we all know how things work around here, especially with the Pacers. When you guys lose interest, I mean, damn, you guys are going to lose some interest. And the Pacers, at least for 3 of the 4 nights, I'm not suggesting you lost interest last night because that game was close even in a loss, because I sound like I'm handing out participation trophies, and I'm not. You guys were around for Golden State because everybody was in Hamilton County was cheering for Golden State. Why do we always use Hamilton County as the go-to jab?
I know.
Why is that? I mean, are there not any Curry fans that grow up in Hendricks County? Or in Hancock County?
No.
I would say that there are probably just as many Golden State fans in Johnson County.
Well, because we have to be equal opportunity offenders.
Why do we always got it? No, man, you guys always stick it to Hamilton County. It's always got to be Carmel. Always got to be Fishers. Why?
Well, last time I said Greenwood, and I said Greenwood for the Celtics, and your boy Benner got mad over there.
There's no Celtics fans in Greenwood.
No, the Celtics fans come from Brownsburg. The Heat fans come from Greenwood. The Carmel,
the Heat fans do come. They come.
Whiteland.
Yeah, I'd say Indy Southside. I think the Heat fans all probably either barely graduated or got their GED after attending Southport, right? Something like that.
Well, Boston, Boston fans come from Brownsburg, Terre Haute. We know why, so it is what it is.
At JMV 1070, we're on Twitter too.
It's a joke, people. Let's everybody calm down.
Bobby Jefferson writes this. Hey, JMV, the issue with before and after Vic has always been Nate. He's a career .519 winning percentage coach, and now that his star is out, his inability to prep a team shows that makes reoccurring mistakes. He's the Pagano of the NBA. How many of you put some of what we have seen transpire on the head coach? More about the players, more about the coach. Now, in the NBA, it's always more about the coach. Mm-hmm. More about the players, more about the coach. Makes you wonder.
It's a lot on the coach.
JMV at 1070thefan.com. Terre Haute can get worse. No, it's not. Seriously. You gotta have more to do over there than hang out at Indiana State, like I did. Go to the Copper Bar or go to the Honey Creek Square. Yeah, get you a little casino working over there. Help everybody out. It's a nice little place over there in the Wabash. Turn the old Meadows if you want. Upstairs, basement type of old school, tiny mall. Turn that into one. The Meadows. I like it. Do it. Come on. At JMV, I was a freshman at Indiana State the year you're talking about when Heaton hit that half-court shot. Campus went wild. We opened the dorm room window. You could hear people screaming all over campus. I'm telling you, that was a big deal. I mean, that's when Bob Forbes, the late, great Bob Forbes, who was a longtime sports director, was over at WTHI in Terre Haute. I mean, they did all the games. I mean, you're traveling to Las Cruces, New Mexico back in 1979. If you're Indiana State, that was a big deal back then. It really was. JMV, so Tyreek Evans is back. Best 10 minutes. I can't say that. Gosh, what are you guys doing to me here? How about my Boilermakers? Let me know. Celebrate. Have this moment, even if they fall before the Sweet 16. This is glorious. Hey, that's why I had to mention it. I mean, out of the gate here, you got to mention Purdue. They're the only one right now that's carrying their weight around here. Everybody else is giving you the screwing. Everybody else is losing. Everybody else is giving you a reason to want to talk about anything else, and not a one of you out there want to talk about the Super Bowl. Not one. Zero. No way. I'm just you'll watch it. Like if you're me, we have the annual Super Bowl buffet where my kids say, hey, I want all this. Give me many corn dogs. Yeah, give me some chicken wings. Give me some mac and cheese. And all they end up eating is popcorn. So it all sits out there and nothing.
Tony gets leftovers on Monday.
That's all happens. I mean, I just could put a big bag of popcorn in the middle of the table and they'd be set. But we got to do the Super Bowl buffet in our house. But, I mean, anybody else, the only reason you're going to tune in is to hope that the Patriots lose, which, by the way, they're not. And speaking of which, we're going to have some prop bets for you coming up in just a bit. Yeah, I saw. Thanks for the video. My man John D'Armelio sent me the video of the Mantis with Belmont basketball last night. I think he had 25 and 13 or something.
One of 5 players in college hoops right now, averaging 19 and 10, I do believe.
The Mantis, they just got to get it done against Murray State.
And they blew them out last week.
They did, but that Morant kid that everybody went to watch there, he rolled his ankle like the first 2 minutes of the game. And
well, it's between them and Jacksonville State. Yeah,
Jacksonville State, too. But see, that's what's been disappointing is because Belmont's gotten there, had a great regular season, and then crap out in that tournament. That's the problem you have. I mean, if you're a mid-major, you're a mid-major conference like that, you know going in, if you don't win that tournament, you're not going to get in, and that sucks. That absolutely sucks for teams like Belmont that, over a 4-year span, you're really good, and you just don't get in. Don't get into the tournament.
Are we going to go to the tournament this year?
Where is the OVC this year? Is it
Evansville?
In Nashville? Is the OVC I thought it was Evansville last year.
2019 OVC basketball championship tickets.
Yeah, it was in Evansville
Center.
last year, too.
Evansville, yep.
I think we're going to have to do that a little bit. JMV, Google Indiana has a new state bird. There was a song out that has Forbes play-by-play. I remember that, Jim. That was awesome. And that was a good time. 40 years ago tonight. That was one hell of a big deal right there. And I enjoyed it. JMV, I completely disagree with you. I think if you have a guy that is at least of the scoring stature of Carmelo Anthony, if he wants to come here, you go out and get it. If you're the Pacers.
He can't defend.
I think that he, to me, adds so much more of a problem. He gives you more issues, more problems than what you're already dealing with. That's just me. That is just me. I mean, I'm all for going out there and trying to salvage something out of this, trying to make something happen when clearly you're just not when it came to your goals this season. But on the other hand, Carmelo Anthony, come on, man. Come on. I would rather them just roll with it than Carmelo Anthony. And again, I changed my mind about Antonio Brown. I said that earlier. I mean, not many people cop to saying one thing and then doing the quick change like I did, but I'll cop to that. I changed my mind quickly about it. Once I watched it up close and personal, I thought, oh, man, they got to do something different here. I mean, something else has to. You got to add somebody. And I'm all for, the whole get-along thing in the locker room, and guys love one another, and that is fantastic, but you got to have somebody else opposite of T.Y. Hilton, and I still firmly believe that. And it's probably not the direction they're going to go. And with the role that they're on right now making decisions, maybe it turns out to be great. But on the other hand, we're still kind of going back to what we talked about back before the start of the season. You needed another wide receiver, and you kind of just went in that way, and you dealt with it. You picked up Dontrell Inman, but you could have done probably a little bit better a year ago. You just could have. But I did change my mind, and sometimes that absolutely does happen. Sometimes. JMV. Bingo. Guys were giving me hell because I tweeted at Fox Sports 1 about the terrible background crowd noise that they have with college basketball coverage. How can they not hear that? I think they do. Here's my thought, and I'm sure that somebody probably with Fox Sports 1 or Big Ten Network could answer that. I just think they go with microphones where they are, and you just kind of plug and play and then unplug and take your equipment with you. I just think that those setups are right there. But my God, you can't even watch the game. There are like 3 people in the stands that are rooting for Penn State, and it's like of the 3, the microphone is right between the 3. And they're just yelling the entire time. It is the worst. It is the worst broadcast in all of college basketball. It is unwatchable because of that. And you got it last night. Most of the time you get it on the Big Ten Network as well. It's from Ted. 2 reasons no interest in the Super Bowl. Number 1, the Pats. Number 2, the Rams should not be there. Brady against Breeze. Senior Bowl. Much better. You guys are all going to gravitate to you. I'm not silly to think that you're not. But at the same time, there's not a great deal of anticipation for it. I mean, you're not sitting around here. I don't know how many of you are going to sit around on Sunday and watch 9 hours of pregame coverage going into this. Now, we'll all still watch it because it'll be on. Marcus at 239-1070. Go ahead, Marcus.
What's up, John?
Good to hear from you.
Yeah, you too, man. Hey, so I hate to disagree with Tony because 99.5% of the time when he's talking, he's saying something that's on fire. But here's my problem. I don't care if Carmelo can play defense or not. I don't want him at the Pacers either way. But playing defense has nothing to do with it. The Pacers haven't scored 100 points in, I feel like, a year and a half. They've got to be able to score. They need somebody that can make up. When you got one guy scoring 20 points a game, like you just went down the whole list, when Victor Oladipo's not playing, you got to have more than one guy out there putting the ball in the hoop. So, Tony, I love you, but, sir, I got to go.
Thank you. I'm not pro Carmelo. I don't even think you can walk me far enough down that to get there. Hey, turn it up over there, Tony, would you? Want to do some props on the other side?
Yeah.
Bob Lovell, top of the hour. Jeremiah Johnson, 4:30. Don Fisher, Mike Wells in the 5. We got some great input regarding Anything Goes, and then an Anything Goes segment coming up at 6. Prop bets, Tony D, Super Bowl, other side.
Museum by Moonlight at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis is back Saturday, February the 23rd. Register to win a pair of tickets online now, 1070thefan.com.
Hey, this is Jeff Saturday, and I want to tell you what to do if you ever have a fire or flood or mold damage at your home or place of business. Call More Restoration Disaster Cleanup. I can tell you firsthand that their customer service and response time is second to none in Indiana. So if you ever have an unexpected fire or flood like I did, call the only Indianapolis restoration company that I used in my home. Call More Restoration or visit morerestoration.com. And hey, tell them Jeff Saturday sent you.
Head to Twin Peaks, the ultimate sports lodge where everything's been raised to a higher elevation. Games on huge screens, scratch food bursting from the best kitchen in sports, and something on the menu to satisfy every fan's appetite. Enjoy the shareable items for the table, and of course, Twin Peaks' full-service bar features a huge selection of draft beers, purposefully served at a teeth-chattering 29 degrees in mugs so cold you can see the ice crystals. Head for Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. 82nd Street and I-69.
Hey, John, for PAI, it's WeGrowHairIndy.com. Who is sick and tired of going bald? Who has got, well, you can kind of tell, right, in the mirror reflection, that classic horseshoe design going on with your hair? Who wants something a little bit more? Well, PAI offers you that and then some. How would you like it? 888-724-5129. It's your real growing hair again, and all you have to do, call Darren Andrews and ask about it. He'll explain to you what you're going to go through, if it's multi-unit hair grafting or artist robotic FUE or even the laser hair therapy. It works. Just make the call. If you want your real growing hair again, I mean, that's not a bad toupee, nothing glued on or painted on or stapled on or nothing put on with duct tape. It's all real. Real growing hair at PAI. Call Darren today. Set up that appointment. 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Hi, my name is Andrew, the founder of 4hims.com. 4Hims is a wellness site that is dedicated to solving the specific issues men deal with. We're here to help you access real medical solutions to hair loss, ED, and much more. At 4hims.com, you can work with a doctor online, and if they determine a prescription is right for you, you can have that medication sent right to your home at affordable prices. You don't have to deal with setting up an in-person doctor's appointment. Just come to 4hims.com and we'll walk you through the rest. Now you have easier, more affordable access to the prescriptions, products, and medical advice you need. At 4hims.com, we're here for you.
As a special introductory offer, we'll give you your first order of prescription ED medication for just $5. Just go to 4hims.com/promo. Get started today for just $5 at 4hims.com/promo. That's FORHIMS.com/PROMO.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Guys, when you're dealing with ED issues, talking about intimacy can make you uncomfortable. So we'll use another word for intimacy, like football. Football! Look, you love football. Your wife loves football, and you both want some hot and sweaty football right now. But then, fumble. Oopsie! And by fumble, I mean ED issues. You need to get to the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. The Indianapolis Men's Clinic knows that erectile dysfunction is a serious issue that affects 50% of men. That's why they offer a comprehensive approach to battling ED, low T, and even PE, which is kind of like a false start. Penalty! Plus, a performance promise. If it doesn't work for you, you don't pay. Before you know it, you'll be back in the game with a touchdown! Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic and book your $99 office visit today. Call 317-999-9000, 317-999-9000, or at indymensclinic.com.
Get up and go now so you can go tonight.
Hey, Connecticut water's the absolute best. Get the best water in your home. Don't deal with hard water another minute. Talk to Joe, John, or Dennis, somebody at Connecticut that can make sure that you have the best water, and that is Connecticut water. And believe me, right now, the prices on Premier Series water softeners are absolutely the best. If you missed them at the Indianapolis Home Show, well, you missed us last week because it was a blast. But if you missed them at the Indianapolis Home Show, there is still time right now to get great deals on the Premier Series water softener, the Signature Series water softener, or the Game Changer, the in-home drinking water station. I'm telling you, you'll love it. Hey, just get with the best. Tucker Barnhart knows, Chris Denary knows, and I know. If there's anything I know, it's water. And it's the greatness that is Connecticut with great deals going on right now. 2 locations, Northeast Side, Castleton, US 31, Southport Road, and online, it's ConnecticutIndy.com today.
White Castle presents Party Food Fouls. Hey guys, brought some nachos.
Personal foul, soggy snack.
Well, I also brought wings.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, cliche snack.
All right, dude, what do you want?
The ruling is 20 White Castle original sliders for $10 is the best call.
Get 20 original sliders for $10. In-app or online only. At White Castle. Limited time only. Tax not included. At participating castles. Cheese and bacon extra. Sold in quantities of 20.
The Pacers road trip continues in Miami. Tomorrow night at 7 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Are you kidding?
FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns of staring out the window at the darkness till boredom overtook us, and he began to speak.
What's that Senate bill vote Wednesday? What's it said, Tony? Did I see that?
Out of reading people's
So if they legalize it and I go broke gambling, you got an extra room, right?
by the way
Oh,
they
yeah.
held their eyes.
So Terre Haute Casino, bingo.
I can see you're out of age.
Legalizing sports bets, bingo, and table games, which is just, my God, that's logic. At Indiana Grand and at Hoosier Park. Drink now my last swallow. All right, speaking of that right now, we've got some prop bets. We got some wagers for the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. From Kenny Rogers, we go. Tony Donahue, what are we doing? Where are we wagering? What are we putting our money on? Go.
All right, I really like for the first touchdown of the game, 50-1, Jared Goff. So basically you're hoping C.J. Anderson or Todd Gurley get you down to the goal line, and Goff runs in. So 50-1, that's worth a $10 bet, wouldn't you think?
Hold on, who wanted C.J. Anderson before the start of the season around here?
Jonathan Michael Vincent.
That was me, wasn't it? Weird. Go ahead.
Longest touchdown pass, do you think, John? Over under 42.5 yards.
Don't you think that the Rams get loose on one over 40? Maybe? No?
I'm going to say no. Here's why. You're winning.
Right.
You're winning that the entire time until you're not. And 42 yards, you got to think is that's breaking one, right? That's not. I mean, that's breaking one for a touchdown. So I'll take the under in that one. Todd Gurley rushing yards in the Super Bowl, over under 57.5.
What are you going?
I'm going to go over on that one.
I got you.
How many plays Tony Romo will correctly predict before the snap? Over under 7.5.
I'm going to go under on that.
I'm going to go under as well. I think that they'll probably tell him, hey, let's kind of cut that out for the Super Bowl. Patriots will record more first downs than the Rams. Yes or no?
Yes.
I say yes as well. Rams over under 1.5 sacks.
1.5 sacks. Over.
I'll go over as well. That's plus 140, so that'd be good money.
I think
right
Aaron
there.
Donald will go over that on his own.
Yeah, that's 100 to win, 140. National anthem over under a minute 47.
Over. Always take the over on that. They always go over.
Will any scoring drive take less time than it takes Gladys Knight to sing the national anthem?
I love me some Gladys Knight, though, man. I still love Gladys Knight and the Pips.
I'll say no.
Can I play Midnight Train to Georgia for everybody a little bit later on in honor of Gladys Knight and the Pips? And Night of the Pips. In honor of the Pips. Yeah.
What's the first song Maroon 5 will play? I'll go Moves Like Mick Jagger.
You're going to go Moves Like Jagger?
Yep.
What, that's their most notable song, right?
I would say.
What was the one they had in the early 2000s?
Sugar, Girls Like
that
You,
was a big...
She Will Be Loved, What Lovers Do, One More Night, Animals.
What was the one they had way back in the day?
Animals is a good song.
The one back in, look this up. Would you, Austin? 2001?
Right, 2001.
Sunday Morning?
Yeah, Sunday Morning's 02.
No. Something else.
This Love?
This Love.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. All right. Animals might be there. We'll see. All right. Moving on. Will either team score in the first 6.5 minutes of the game? I say no. That's plus 130.
I'm going to say no, too.
I'm going to say no as well. Which team scores first, Patriots or Rams? I'll take Rams.
I'll take the Pats.
Patriots have not scored a first quarter touchdown under Belichick and Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Well, that doesn't matter. You can't stats. You don't go with stats. With
longest touchdown of the game, over under 46.5 yards.
We said that already. I think I took the over just for the hell of it.
I said that was that was longest touchdown pass. Over. This is longest touchdown in general, over 47.5. I'll take or over 46.5. I'll take the under.
I'll take the over. I think I took the over the other time, too. I'll take the double over.
Longest field goal of the game, over under 45 yards. I'll take the over.
I'm going to go the over, too, because of Greg the Leg.
Yep.
Give me Greg the Leg for the win, thank you.
I would agree with you. How many songs will we play during the halftime show? Over, under 7.5?
Well, the catalog's pretty deep for Maroon 5, right? I don't know. Who's Travis Scott? Travis Scott's a hip-hop artist right now?
I'll say over because they're not going to play full songs. Don't you normally get up there and you play?
Yeah.
You know, you play the first 2 minutes, you get to the hook, and you move on?
Will this be better than when Coldplay was out there? Who was Coldplay out there with a couple of years ago?
I don't know, but Lady Gaga last year was pretty badass.
It sounded like Coldplay. Yeah. You guys will make fun of me because of that. Well, you know, the best band is playing, I think, the night before. The Foo Fighters are playing the night before on DirecTV, right?
Will Adam Levine be wearing a hat during the halftime show?
No hat for Levine.
That is the
no hat
favorite at -220. Tom Brady passing yards over under 291.5. I'll go under.
I'm going to go over.
Gronk receiving yards over under 55.5.
Under.
Jared Goff passing yards over under 281.
If I took under on, I have to take over on Gronk if I took over on Brady, though, don't I?
More than likely.
Let me change that up. I'm going to go over. Yeah.
Okay, and Jared Goff passing yards over under 281.5.
I'm going to go over on that, too.
All righty, there you go. Your Super Bowl prop bets brought to you by Tony D and JMV.
Way to go. I like the prop bets right there.
Good stuff.
Have you made any yet, officially?
I have not. I will. I don't know if I will, but I'll do some stuff. We'll see.
Well, right.
You don't bet. When is the last time you placed any kind of sports wager? June of 2000?
I'm not a bettor, man.
June of 2000?
I guess. I'm not a betting guy.
Wasn't that your wedding? June of 2000?
Yeah, that's the last time I was in Vegas. Yeah. We got to do that again, too.
Well,
I think we should get married. Am I going to get remarried again? What's the over-under on that?
You guys...
Not remarried. That doesn't sound good.
I think I'm renew your vows?
Renew our...
Next summer of 2020?
Remarried.
Can I ordain? Can I officiate it? Let me officiate it. We'll go to Vegas next summer.
That would be fun.
We'll sweat our asses off in June. Your 20th anniversary.
Was anybody else out there kind of drunk when you got married? I was kind of drunk when I got married.
I mean,
it was awesome. Too.
I've been tipsy in every wedding I've been in. But if you if you renew your vows, you have to re-propose.
Well, that'd be for the first time. Right there. All right, quick break. We'll come back. Bob Lovell, top of the hour. Got a busy weekend, college hoop and in high school. We'll talk to Bob about that. Jeremiah Johnson on where the Pacers are going from here with a 4-game losing skid. Don Fisher, Mike Wells, and more. Sit tight. Back with you next.
The Pacers' push toward postseason play continues. The blue and gold are fighting through injuries and adversity.
Oladipo is seated under the goal. Taken off on a stretcher.
But we've been here before, and you know this team won't give up.
Thaddeus Young with yet another tremendous play.
Next up, the Pacers extend their stay in Florida and head to Miami. Saturday at 7 o'clock. Every play of every game heard here. Your home for Pacers basketball at FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
7-time Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter John Mayer hits the road in 2019. An evening with John Mayer, performing songs spanning his entire career. Bankers Life Fieldhouse, August 12th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. There's more at JohnMayer.com.
At the corner of Main and Monon, above Carmel's only high-end steakhouse, sits a bar that's so relaxing and scenic, you wish it was just your little secret. The atmosphere is inviting, the environment controlled both inside and out, and the chef-prepared shareables are just as exciting and fresh as the wonderful tasting cocktail that breathes a uniqueness one can only call innovative. Welcome to 3 Up, above Anthony's Chop House, with rooftop views of Carmel, including the growing wall, the perfect selfie spot, easy parking, and weekly entertainment. 3 Up, Main and Monon, Carmel.
Are you an Indiana college student pursuing a degree in the broadcasting industry with a dream to work on air, behind the scenes, or in sales? Apply for the Indiana Broadcasters Foundation Scholarship. This year, the Broadcasters Foundation will award $50,000 in scholarships to deserving students who have their eye on a career in the broadcast industry. Eligible students can apply by Friday, February 15th at indianabroadcasters.org.
Make this Valentine's Day the best ever with a gift from Shane Company. Hi, I'm Tom Shane.
And
And I'm Donna. I love showing our customers all the exclusive designs we've created with diamonds, rubies, and sapphires. It's what we're known for. Like our new pendant with 12 diamonds arranged in the shape of a heart. The unique shared prong setting for the diamonds allows more of each diamond to show and sparkle. This gorgeous gift is $1,465, or give her the matching diamond heart-shaped earrings for $1,980. We have the largest selection of hoop earrings, 3-stone rings, necklaces, and bracelets with diamonds, rubies, and sapphires.
At Shane Company, you get the highest quality and the best value. Whether you spend a few $100s or thousands, you'll find something beautiful for her.
When she opens her gift from you, she'll light up.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Are you going to wait another year to do something about your thinning hair? Hey, it's JMV. Trust me, it's only going to get worse. Call PAI right now, 888-724-5129. Talk to my friend Darren Andrews, the clinic director from PAI Medical Group. He's got a unique perspective. He's actually gone through the procedure.
Thanks, JMV. Like all of us, I wanted the best solution for my hair loss, and that's what motivates us at PAI. We want what you want, the best technology and great results.
Here's the thing I like, too. Guys like you, Darren, you've been through the procedure, so you know what happens. You've seen it before.
That's right. Come in and see the results of our Artis Robotic FUE, our multi-unit hair grafting, and our PRP, platelet-rich plasma.
And the evaluation is absolutely free. This year, you have nothing to lose but more hair. Again, the number, 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com. Go to my VIP page and see my results. 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairIndy.com right now.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BV, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Hey, John here for 1 hour heating and air conditioning. How you guys doing? Hey, the one thing I should have advised you to do, let me see a show of hands. Anybody out there prior to this deep freeze we landed in and now we're coming out on the other side, right? Did you guys change your furnace filter? Anybody at all think about changing your furnace filter? That is so huge, so clutch. Now, if you haven't, let's say you go look at it right now, you go, yeah, I guess I haven't changed it in a while. If it looks like a big gray brick, big concrete block, you don't want that, and that may have affected your system. That's where 1 hour heating and air conditioning comes in. They'll get the professionals out there making sure they can get fixed what you need to be fixed and then giving you a $51 discount in the process. Plus, if it doesn't, just know that everything is working correctly and you're not losing money and you're staying warm in the winter of 2019. With 1 hour heating and air conditioning, that's 855-1-HOUR today.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV, FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Foo Fighters tomorrow, I think, down in Atlanta on DirecTV. There's the Super Bowl band right there. Bob Lovell in a second. JMV at 1070thefan.com. Is there any chance that the Pacers tank a little to improve their draft position? Yeah. They've won 32 games already. I mean, to adequately tank, you're going to have to basically lose the rest of them. I mean, you're going to lose the rest of them. And that's still probably not going to tank as much as anybody else. You don't want to see this team lose the rest of their games, do you? I mean, I don't, 32 games. I understand it from this angle. If you have somebody that somebody else may want, one of these 1 year, 5 guys with expiring contracts, and, you know, it's a deal that you can't pass up, I guess I would understand that right now. Otherwise, we'll talk to JJ about it at the bottom of the hour. I kind of see Kevin. Actually, I will say this. I felt last week when we learned that Vic was done for the season, I felt last week that less would be done than I do now. It's almost like now I almost expect him to do a little bit more just by virtue of how this team's looked in the past 4 games, and I could be completely wrong. Because I remember last week, Jay Michael and I of the Star are talking about this, and he didn't expect anything. And, there are still ways to do it, still ways you can try to do it before March the 1st, right? As far as March the 1st is the deadline to have guys that are eligible to play in the postseason. I believe that's the date, right, Tony? March the 1st?
Yes.
Anyway, there's still ways that you can do it by not making a move or not giving up anything that you have. And that's, if somebody, for example, if Wes Matthews or DeAndre Jordan, just acquired by the Knicks yesterday, in that blockbuster trade with Porzingis, if they have their contracts bought out, maybe there'd be some interest there with Wes Matthews. I mean, you might have other guys that had their contracts bought out. I always thought that was the direction they're going to go, and I thought it was going to be kind of lightweight, and maybe it still will be. I just think right now, I feel right now that maybe more will be done than what I thought last week at this time. And, I haven't really looked at it because I don't know the interest level that anybody else might have with what the Pacers have right now, with what the Pacers have that the Pacers would part with. I don't know if there is any interest there. JMV, what's been wrong with Domas Sabonis over the past week plus or so? I've said this, and it sounds like a huge excuse. He looks tired. I think he looks tired. I thought he looked tired last night. I think he's missing a lot of shots on the interior. I think there's something to be said about the type of punishment that he takes on the interior. And I think the dude looks a little worn right now. I said that actually early in the week, and I'll stand by it. I think he looks a little bit worn. It's from Frederick, JMV at 1070thefan.com. Melo needs to be a Laker. At this point, he's the best-suited bench scorer, floor spreader. He'd be perfect in that role alongside LeBron James. And once Anthony Davis ends up there, which he probably will. JMV, here's a Terre Haute update for you. We're getting a remodeled Holman Center, a remodeled Copper Bar, and a new downtown convention center, and a new casino. Honey Creek Mall is dying. Macy's closed, Carson's closed, Sears closed, JCPenney open. It's a ghost town. The best store at the Mar is the bar at TGI Fridays. See, I said this the other day, too. I feel bad for malls. I know everybody likes to just kind of lay around on their ass and then hit a button and then get everything delivered right to you. But there is something to be said about the mall environment in which a lot of us grew up in being a social event. Growing your social skills at the mall. Stop laughing. It's true. Maybe if you're younger, you didn't do that. But if you're my age group, a little bit older, a little bit younger, certainly, you grew your social skill set, at least in part, at the stinking mall. You did. Well, that's being lost now. You did. Everybody did. Me, college mall. I followed around chicks that wouldn't give me the time of day. Played a little Donkey Kong, had a combination calzone from Luca Pizza, opened up a heavy metal magazine or two in Super X, went to the bathroom, went home. I had a little, I'm very detail-oriented, right? I mean, that's just kind of how, that's it. But, yeah, it's social. You're losing a little bit of your social development with the dying malls. Is that a weak argument? It's certainly a weak argument in this era. I know that.
What's an arcade?
See, if I were back in college right now, I think I'd do a paper on that. I think I'd do a paper. The loss in social growth due to the disappearing of malls. What do you think? No?
No, I mean, you could.
Justin's at 239-1070. Justin, hello.
Hey, what's up, JMV?
Good to hear from you. What's happening?
Hey, I got a question. If the Pelicans decide to part ways with Anthony Davis, which looks like it's going to happen, Drew Holiday will probably be on the market. What is the possibilities that the Pacers move away from Collison and Corey Joseph and bring in Holiday for the next 5-6 years.
Here's the thing: if you're just simply asking me, Justin, should the Pacers have any interest in him? I would say, yeah. I don't know what the price might be. I don't know what you would have to give up. I don't know what they're willing to give up. But do I like him as a guard? I think he's the guy on that team. And I know that they haven't performed well, and now they're tearing it down. I think he's been, a major piece of that team that sometimes to me goes unrecognized. So, would I have interest in him? Yeah.
Right, and I see if you pair him with, Victor coming back next year, mid-year, I think that would be a great backcourt.
Listen, I like him as a player.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Hey, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. I do like him as a player. I saw this a little bit earlier. I think I answered this through Mike Chappell. I never know where these threads start on Twitter, so my apologies. Oh, this is started by the injury expert. Will Carroll started this. Who's the most successful ex-athlete? Someone who retired. I saw Mike Chappell retweet it and then did something completely outside of sports. Alan Page comes to mind. Alan Page, of course, became a judge. He was one of the great defensive linemen in NFL history that played. He did his greatness, a lot of the great work in Minnesota, but certainly spent some time with the Bears. Jack Kemp, Steve Largent, according to Chappell. That's okay. Here's what I put. I put Fred Dreyer because I stinking loved Hunter. I loved Hunter. Fred Dreyer was a bad dude, man. He was a bad dude. And I like Webster, so I like Alex Karras. I mean, Webster was a little difficult because the ABC affiliate in Terre Haute didn't come in with our clacker all the time. Like Channel 38 had a weak signal, and there were only certain days I could get RTV6, the ABC affiliate here. So when the clacker wasn't working, when the clacker would freeze up in the wintertime, it was likely I was going to miss a Friday night episode of Webster and Mr. Belvedere. JMV. If your entire season rests on the shoulders of one player, then don't you think you're not on the right track moving forward? Number 4, getting hurt has pulled back the curtain, and it doesn't look good. Well, I'll be honest with you. It's weird because I felt good. I shouldn't say good. That's inaccurate. I felt better about it after watching them play. They look unrecognizable. The team that was 7-4 compared to the team now that's 0-4. They look unrecognizable, and it doesn't, to me, in watching these games in their entirety, it doesn't seem as if they're all discombobulated without their floor leader, without their locker room guy. It just seems like that more times than not over this 4-game stretch, they've all sucked. They haven't been good. I mean, give me something of consistency over this 4-game stretch. Give me one player that has been has there been one? There hasn't been one. So that part concerns me a great deal. And if I were a player on that team, it'd concern me as well. I'm thinking, okay, so this is what happens. So we have one guy go out, and okay, Eastern Conference Finals out. Maybe winning a playoff series out, but getting housed by the Wizards? After the Wizards lost to Cleveland the night before, after the Wizards were down 25 to the Cavaliers. Having Jeff Green have a career night. Watching Terrence Ross have a second signature game of his career last night. That would concern me. That part would. That would irritate me if I was one of their players, too. That'd irritate me if I'm Kevin Pritchard. And nobody says that it's going to be easy. And, yeah, nobody's suggesting that they were going to be what we thought they were going to be. But to simply just fall to pieces like this, that part to me is what is concerning. Chris is in Terre Haute, Indiana, 239-1070. Chris, go ahead.
What's going on, JMV? I love listening to you talk about Terre Haute. I grew up in this area. Anytime you talk about Greene County, I grew up in Clay County. Anytime you talk about Greene County, any of that stuff, man, I'm just dying. I love it.
Hey, did you go to Clay City High School?
I did, sir. Yes, sir.
Would you guys have a baseball fence now at your baseball field? Because, hell, when I played over there, you guys didn't have a fence.
We had to put a fence up, keep the goats in the off season so the yard would stay mowed. But yeah, we did get a fence put up.
Because I once hit a ball and it was a ground rule double because it landed in the weeds in the ditch.
Yeah,
I got a ground rule double in the ditch. That was pretty cool.
Home run over 246. That's how it works.
Exactly.
Hey, this Pacer situation, man, I just feel like since January, the whole bottom of my teams have fell out. IU's awful. Of course, the Colts got eliminated. And now the Pacers is so discouraging. 2 weeks ago, before this happened, if you would have told me to make a trade, the Pacers would make a trade, who do you get rid of? I thought the core was great. There was not one guy on this team that I was like, man, I could see them go because I just think everyone was such a huge part. But now it feels like if we're going to make trades, are we making trades now to dump because we don't think it's going to happen? Or are we going to try to trade for somebody that's going to make a difference to fill the shoes of Oladipo? And that's what I don't understand, what direction we're going to go in.
Well, I don't have the answer for you there. I think most people right now are suggesting that if you know right now that there's one of these 5 guys that you absolutely don't want on this team next year and you have the opportunity to sell them off, I think most people are out there suggesting you do that. Now, I've thought a little bit and I've since changed. I didn't think there was going to be much done this time last week. I was thinking about it last night, and I just wonder if Kevin Pritchard is going to let these guys go out this way without giving them some sort of help side in this and to see if they can do more than what we have seen. I don't know. Maybe that's inaccurate, but that's kind of how I felt last night after watching the way this team lost to Orlando, that maybe that inspires a little bit more Pritchard to try to do something that I didn't think he was going to be able to do or would think about doing at this time last week. That could be completely wrong, but conventional wisdom would tell you right now that if you're not going to be this, and this is how these guys are going to look without Vic, that these guys that you have one-year deals on are assets, especially if you don't intend on bringing them back. So if you have somebody out there that might have interest in them, then most people would suggest go ahead and sell them off.
Gotcha. Hey, I do have one more question. This is about IU. This losing streak that they're having, maybe you've touched on this. I don't get to listen the whole time, but this losing streak that IU has kind of gone through, this 7-game losing streak, do you think that has a huge effect on the Romeo Langford draft lottery probability?
I don't listen. He's still going to leave, and he better, because I mean, he's making himself look worse. If he would have been able to bail out of New Albany after a senior season, like you should be able to do if you're a basketball player now. I mean, hell, he probably goes in the top 5, top 6, something like that, maybe, right, if he bails out. But, I mean, he's at least now it looks like he does. I mean, I think his stock is falling, but not to the point where it's going to matter or going to be a decision for him to stay, because that's no decision. The problem he has right now is that his flaws are being outed, and everybody is seeing them, and that part is true.
I gotcha.
Hey, by the way, shout out to the Mayberry Cafe in Clay City. My kids love it.
Gotcha. Thanks a lot.
You got it. Mayberry Cafe is in Clay City. It's from Russ Nordberg. Trading for Drew Holiday stops the bleeding right now. 3 years younger than Conley, $6 million cheaper. I don't know. Maybe it's just a pipe dream, a vision. Maybe it's just because I thought that this season was going to go better and I was excited about it. But I just felt last night, I felt a little more that Kevin Pritchard might try to tackle something a little bit larger. The way things have looked through 4 games and 4 losses, as I did last week before this started. Are you the other way on this? You agree with me on that?
I think I do.
It's hard for me to believe that he's going to let this fade as this is fading right now without doing a little something about it, and maybe a little bit more than I thought that he was going to do in the first place.
I mean, it can go one of 3 ways. Either the Pacers go out and get somebody, they sell, or they stand pat. I don't think they're going to stand pat. You got to get somebody in here, and if not, and they think, hey, we got to look for the future, let's get rid of some of these expiring contracts that we don't know if they're going to re-sign, and we get some of these younger players some playoff experience, because like you said, with winning 32 games already, it's going to be hard not to make the playoffs.
Part of the issue is you don't know if anybody wants to do that. That's part of it. Part of the issue is you don't know if anybody out there wants to do that. Like, for example, I think most people around here would say, cool, Tyreek Evans, yes. Yep. But would somebody want to do that for Tyreek Evans right now? I think a lot of people are probably done.
I mean, if you're saying like who's on the trading block, I mean, do you think? I think most people would have interest in Bojan. Obviously, he's a veteran with playoff experience who can knock down shots. Then Thad, then Darren, then Tyreek, and Corey.
I would probably put Tyreek Evans last. I don't know if Tyreek Evans has done anything where anybody would say, "Oh yeah, there you go, let's bring him in." JMV, don't forget about Smith's Shoes in the College Mall. I remember Smith's Shoes. Service merchandise, baby. JMV, Mayberry Cafe is in my hometown of Danville. There's a Mayberry Cafe. What the hell is it called in Clay City? There's another one like it. It's not the more noted Anthony Mayberry Cafe. I know the one you're talking about in Danville. I've been there before. My kids go to one in Clay City all the time. I thought it was called Mayberry Cafe because the king of milkshakes go over there all the time from Nat Nats. From T. Shaw. If there were no malls, Ronald McDonald Miller could not have traded his telescope for a suede suit and gotten Cindy Mancini. That is so true.
If it wasn't for malls, some jackass couldn't get inside and make a blimpy sub the size of his
awesome.
car.
That was the best night. We always dream, right? You always dream about – that used to be a dream, getting locked in a mall like overnight. See how cool that was?
How is
awesome.
That has to be a movie, right, at some point?
My life?
No.
Like that? Yes.
Being locked into a mall.
Locked into a mall was fun.
Like locked in a mall during like a snowpocalypse and you have to survive. I
made the greatest blimpy sub sandwich of all time. And I didn't slice my finger off or anything in the process because I was just, I was a little inebriated. It was great. Glory days. Thank you. Glory days is what I'm thinking of over there, not the Mayberry Cafe. Matt Brand, thanks for saving me here. Hey, is Bob Lovell around? Is he not answering the phone?
He did not answer.
Wow, that's weird. I've never had Bob Lovell not be ready to go at 4 o'clock. That's weird. JJ, bottom of the hour is with us. Don Fisher's going to join us. The voice of the Hoosiers, Mike Wells, is coming up as well. We got John Mayer tickets to give away. We got an Anything Goes. We got a best of the week of Anything Goes. I don't know if you heard it yesterday or not, but some old guy, I don't know what it is with me and old guys. Do old guys not understand that I'm becoming an old guy? I'm on the doorstep of the old guy fraternity here. But old guys have been all over me. I don't know what the reason for that is. I only got a couple of minutes here, though. Is that all right?
That's fine.
All right. Bob Levels, Indiana Sports Talk on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Where you been?
Nowhere, actually. That's where my life's going. Nowhere fast. You know that.
All right, what's happening? I know you got a lot of comments to talk about. Obviously, the Boilermakers is the good. There's a lot of bad going on out there, too. And high school-wise, we're coming down the home stretch. You've got semifinal and sectional finals for the girls. Where will you begin on the big show later on tonight at 9:30?
Well, Greg Rakestraw and I are doing the Northern Kentucky IUPUI game later on tonight, and then I'm jetting from the fairgrounds down to the station, so looking forward to that. NKU leads the Horizon League. They've won 6 in a row. They're really good, John. This is a good basketball team. So the Jags will have their hands full tonight. And we're going to talk a lot of girls basketball. A lot of these, because of the snow and ice and everything else and the low temperatures, a lot of these venues are playing 3 games. 3 games tonight, 2 Saturday, 1 on Monday. That seems to be the schedule that a whole lot of venues are going through. So there'll be an enormous amount of stuff going on tonight.
I'm going to tell you this. As a parent, there is nothing more inconvenient than a 2-hour delay. I'm telling you, the 2-hour delay, I don't know if I'm speaking for most.
I don't know who invented it.
Yeah, for most parents out there,
you.
I mean, either it's kind of like blank or get off the pot here, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Because, it does. It's different. If you have an entire day off, you can accommodate for that. But a 2-hour delay just screws up the works from every conceivable angle.
Well, it does. And, your whole schedule has changed. And, it's become so customary that they have a few different types of schedules. They have their basic 2-hour delay schedule and their regular schedule. And so you have a certain number of days that you have to fulfill to satisfy the state of Indiana, and they require you to do a certain number of hours a day. And if it's that bad, just call the whole day off, for heaven's sake.
I agree.
Back in my year, as you know, none of us we never got snow days. We had to walk 5 miles uphill both ways to go to school, so that's okay. We're everybody's soft nowadays. You know that.
No, well, we got a snow day every time a snowflake fell, and it was glorious, and we didn't have to make it up. It was. I think literally in the winter of '78, I think between Christmas and spring break, I think we only went to class like 5 times. It was awesome.
Well, I don't doubt it because I recall that being very, very. I had to be rescued from my house. I was coaching at Franklin College at the time. A front loader with half my baseball team came down here and got me out of my house. That was the only way I could get out. So
that's awesome. How it goes. Rescued by a front loader is a pretty big deal right there. I like that.
It's a big deal. Absolutely.
Where do you stand with what you've seen from IU and furthermore about what you've seen from Butler too? Because we're talking about some major disappointment with both programs to this point.
Well, with IU, I think you can appreciate this. Being the player that you were, you're not probably going to win too many games if you can't shoot the basketball. And this is a team that, for whatever reason, can't make open jump shots on a consistent basis. I mean, literally, tell me who you can count on to knock down a jump shot if they're free from 17 feet, 21 feet. Juwan Morgan's the only one who can score inside consistently. Teams, I think, have figured out that you put a lot of pressure on Romeo. Play him to dribble on every possession, crowd him as much as you can, body him up as much as you can. And then when you go to the bench, tell me who gives you something off the bench. And I think their biggest issue is an inability to score on a consistent basis, especially on the interior.
Yeah. And for Butler, I'm telling you, Butler has some similar issues going on here.
I think they do.
And I see them. I see them either not going as what I know Butler to go after it too. I mean, there are a lot of dynamics at times where I think is sort of equal to what we see with IU, at least at times in games.
Yeah, and I think they're a team that obviously when you lost the people you lost from last year with the Weidman kid and Keelan Martin, obviously you lose a great scorer and a presence inside. But I think one of their biggest issues is they have not been able to defend at the level that they need to, and the level that I think we've grown to expect. And it puts so much pressure on your shooters. I mean, Jordan Tucker has taken a while to assimilate. You have guys who can score, Jorgensen, Kamir Baldwin, Jordan Tucker. But I just think it's with them, and the Big East is down, probably gets 2 teams in, maybe 3 maximum. They just haven't defended. They haven't been able to score consistently enough, and their defense hasn't been at the level that it's been in the past. And so they're in trouble. I mean, they're in 12-10 right now, and I'm not sure how they get out of this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think they do. Bob Lovell's got you covered later on tonight. Indiana Sports Talk, 9:30. That is after IUPUI in Northern Kentucky with he and Greg Rakestraw, and he's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Always a pleasure, my friend. I appreciate it. We'll be listening tonight and tomorrow night.
All right, John. As always, thanks for the call. Have a great week.
Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk. Jeremiah Johnson, Fox Sports Indiana. Where do the Pacers go next? What does Kevin Pritchard do? We'll discuss with JJ next.
Chad and Tyler Peterman for Peterman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Got a stopped-up drain? A Peterman certified technician will unclog it for just $83.
We'll get that drain moving again, and you don't pay until that drain is clear.
And if that same drain should clog again, no worries.
Because we back our work with a 1-year clog-free guarantee.
All for just $83.
That's right. Any drain, any clog, and all you pay is $83 when you call Peterman.
Peterman's the way to go.
Hi, my name is Andrew, the founder of 4Hims.com. 4Hims is a wellness site that is dedicated to solving the specific issues men deal with. We're here to help you access real medical solutions to hair loss, ED, and much more. At forhims.com, you can work with a doctor online, and if they determine a prescription is right for you, you can have that medication sent right to your home at affordable prices. You don't have to deal with setting up an in-person doctor's appointment. Just come to forhims.com and we'll walk you through the rest. Now you have easier, more affordable access to the prescriptions, products, and medical advice you need. At forhims.com, we're here for you.
As a special introductory offer, we'll give you your first order of prescription ED medication for just $5. Just go to forhims.com/promo. Get started today for just $5 at forhims.com/promo. That's forhims.com/promo.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
Are you an Indiana college student pursuing a degree in the broadcasting industry with a dream to work on air, behind the scenes, or in sales? Apply for the Indiana Broadcasters Foundation Scholarship. This year, the Broadcasters Foundation will award $50,000 in scholarships to deserving students who have their eye on a career in the broadcast industry. Eligible students can apply by Friday, February 15th at indianabroadcasters.org.
Nothing says I love you like a diamond. For centuries and across cultures, it's remained the universal symbol of love, romance, and commitment. And at Diamonds Direct this Valentine's, we're making it easier than ever to celebrate your love with diamond jewelry she'll cherish for a lifetime. Join us February 4th through the 14th for our best offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing with nothing down on any purchase. Choose from a special expanded selection of the most romantic gifts: rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and bands. Get the guaranteed best price and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And yes, all engagement rings are included. So come on, make it an unforgettable day for her with a special gift that symbolizes your love and commitment like nothing else. It's Diamonds Direct Spectacular Valentine's Celebration with in-store appearances from top jewelry designers, an expanded selection including gifts as low as $200 and 5 years 0 interest financing on approved credit. February 4th through the 14th only, and only at Diamonds Direct.
Keystone at the Crossing.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Buy 3, get 1 free on select in-stock sets of 4 Aspen Touring, AS, Mesa, AP2 brand tires. Installation charges extra. See store for details.
Hey there, it's Dan Dockage. I'm a diehard Pacer fan, and when it comes to choosing a bank, I chose Key Bank, the official banking home of the Indiana Pacers. They've always got their eye on the financial ball to make sure I'm making progress every play. Key Bank, use the red key. Key Bank is member FDIC.
Your Indiana Pacers host the Los Angeles Lakers Tuesday at 7. It's Lance Stevenson and the Lakers' only visit this season. Get your tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers, Lakers, Tuesday at 7.
Sports with Dan Dockage.
Is there anything to our locker room can handle this guy?
I don't know if we're quite there. I think we're getting close, but I don't know if we're quite there. Just because you win doesn't mean you have it right. We're not taking a victory lap. We're going to start over at square one. That's what you do every year. I mean, last year's over. Great year. Good look back on when we're done, but that's over.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon till 3 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Post-game show is brought to you by Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Thanks about Level Podcast, 1070thefan.com. Tony's here. Brought bets for the Super Bowl we did earlier. Austin from Center Grove's our intern. Last word, Matt Taylor and Jimmy Mad Dog Manis. Q95, the rock station. Give me your dog. 2 for Tuesday. Here's Skinner, Q95. I've never really asked him if he liked that impression or not. What do you think? Does he like that?
I'm sure he doesn't really care.
2 for Tuesday. Here's Skinner, Q95.
He laughs, I'm sure.
Well, there's no better dude in the world than Jimmy Mad Dog Manis. No better dude in the world. He was so good. So good on the air. Still is. Yeah, Matt Taylor got you. Last word coming up at 6:30 tonight. Indiana Sports Talk, as I mentioned. Bob Levels at 9:30. Don Fisher, Mike Wells, 5 and 5:30, respectively. By the way, John Mayer tickets we'll give away. Back to your calls. A little bit more about IU tomorrow night, Michigan State. Butler tomorrow afternoon. Seton Hall. Boilermakers a winner last night. Purdue gets Minnesota at home coming up on Sunday at noon. But on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, let's try to figure out what in the world is going on with the Pacers right now. I mean, we know part of it. We know what they're missing, but to the tune of 4 consecutive losses. And when you have to hang your hat on, well, they didn't look that bad, even in a loss at Orlando last night. That is not very good. Where are we going from here? I know you guys are in Miami, but besides that, where do you think this team is going from here? Is it too early to start asking some serious questions, JJ?
You know, it's a difficult question, and I'm not sure that I know the answer. If the players knew the answer, I think they would have already done something at this point. It's, you know, we've been talking once a week, I think, all season, and it's been mostly positive really up to this point, and this is probably the first bit of adversity. It's a real big, you know, stretch of adversity for this team, and I think they're just not in sync right now. They played, you know, as you said, they played better against the Magic, but that's still a team that you've had so much success against in recent years that you still think if you play well, you can go win that game. And it's a game that you won in December without Oladipo and Domas Sabonis, and you weren't able to do that last night. So I just think it's tough because I talked with Steve Clifford before last night's game, and he said Indiana was a team that, with what they did last year and with what they had coming back and as well as they were playing, nobody in the Eastern Conference wanted to play them. And when you take Victor Oladipo away, he said the players, they're not stupid. They understand what an impact that is and how that could affect them in April, and then you thought about playing basketball in May, and so it's going to take a little bit of time to come back from this. Do they need an infusion of something else, another score? Perhaps. It's a lot to ask right now of Edmund Sumner and Aaron Holiday to make big-time contributions at a critical point in the season.
So Jeremiah Johnson, Fox Sports Indiana. Next up for the Pacers, the Miami Heat. We'll talk about that coming up in a minute. This time last week, we were discussing what we thought Kevin Pritchard might do, and I know it's tough. But I kind of changed up a little bit. I thought last week that maybe they'd wait and, you know, do a waiver. I shouldn't say a waiver wire pickup, but somebody that gets bought out, somebody that has the opportunity to sign freely without getting anything in return. I thought that was the direction they were going to go. I'm kind of changing my thinking a little bit. It's tough for me to believe that Kevin Pritchard is going to let this team go out this way. You agree?
I do agree, actually. You know, last year he listened to, you know, a number of players and saying they wanted to keep it together and they wanted to, you know, play that season out with what they had. And I think if you ask some of those same players right now, I don't know if they would necessarily say keep it exactly as it is because of what has happened over the last week. I think they might even, if you ask them with complete honesty, do you need a little bit of help and, you know, something else down the stretch, they probably would say yes. Now, the fans that want you to sell off your expiring contracts and just build for the future and play all of your G League players, I mean, that is not the move that is going to happen. And I think, you know, the team maybe does owe it to this group to do the best they can and put a run together. They will not sacrifice the future for the present, but I think with all of the movement we've seen around the NBA, there will be an opportunity to acquire someone that could help you and give you a better feeling, you know, going into the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to win games. You can just think about a 4-game losing streak and think the sky is falling. They're never going to win again. That's just not reality. But I do think if you go into the postseason, you want to give yourself a fighting chance. And with what I've seen right now, you need maybe a little bit more of something, whether it's, you know, linked on the perimeter. We'll see. Tyreek Evans potentially back this weekend, so I think that will help a little bit. But I don't know. I think they could still use something, and I would be surprised if there is not some kind of addition. But I don't know any inside information. I just kind of agree with you a little bit that they don't want to go out this way this season.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am with that right now. JJ joins us, Fox Sports Indiana. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I texted you last night because I brought this up earlier this week, and then I thought that it was reaffirmed last night. Sabonis looks tired, man. I mean, he looks tired.
I think that's accurate, and I think we've had this with different guys over the last 2 seasons. Bojan Bogdanovic kind of stands out to me as different stretches in the last 2 years. We've thought, you know, maybe is he a little bit worn out? And I think Sabonis is worn out, and I don't know if it's just – I think it's the pounding he takes. I mean, every single game I watch him go to the basket, and he's so strong, but teams' backup centers have no choice but to just hack at him, and he doesn't – you know, react to the foul. So sometimes he doesn't get those calls. And I know in the NBA you have to absorb contact and you don't get a call every time. But I just think physically he's probably a little tired of getting beat on. His body might be wore down just a little bit. I think the All-Star break, you know, it feels like it can't get here soon enough because that will be something that I think will be good for Domas Sabonis as much as anybody, and he's taken a pounding, and you like to think he'll get it back, but the last week has been tough for him because you expect so much out of him. He's been so consistent for so long that you just almost expect him to roll out on the court and get a double-double, and when he's missing layups, you wonder what's going on. I think he is tired.
Yeah, that's the way that it looks to me, certainly. You mentioned Tyreke Evans. Could be available tomorrow night in Miami for that game against the Heat?
I personally have not seen him, but that was the talk last night that they expected him to join the team, and you wouldn't come to Miami if there wasn't a good chance that you were at least going to play in this game or be very close and then play in New Orleans. So I would expect that, and then the question will be, does he go right into that starting lineup? How good is his back? And even if he's out there, I think teams have to respect him a little bit differently than they were with, even with Corey Joseph starting, but specifically with Edmund Sumner. And I think that would open up things for the offense because that's one of the things I've just noticed without Victor Oladipo. Teams can focus more attention on Bojan Bogdanovic. They can make things more difficult for Darren Collison. And by starting Edmund Sumner, I think it was a realistic move given Klay Thompson, his size, and putting someone like Sumner on him. But it's just a tough situation to start him. Tyreke Evans is a veteran. Teams have to account for him. He's capable of scoring 15 to 20 points more than maybe your other guys you would put in that starting lineup. So if he's healthy, he can help things, and I would expect to see him, if not Saturday, Monday, but I'm kind of leaning towards Saturday.
Yeah. Was that the lower back soreness from that? I just saw it. Somebody sent me a picture via his social media account. He wrecked his car after that Memphis game coming back from the airport.
Yeah, this is one of those that the fans probably know as much as I do, unfortunately, because, that was posted and you can put two and two together. But when asked specifically from Nate McMillan about what caused the back injury, he has not confirmed that. So I can't necessarily say that's what happened, but I do know that he hadn't been complaining of back soreness prior, to that trip home from Memphis. And he didn't play in the fourth quarter of that Grizzlies game, but I don't think it had anything to do with the back. So it's a logical conclusion, but not having actually seen Tyreke since the trip back from Memphis, I do not know for sure. And if that's what happened, it's very unfortunate timing because this is a week the Pacers needed him more than ever. And I think that's just kind of been fitting for his season. It's just not quite been what the team needed out of him. And when Victor's out, you think, okay, you at least have Tyreke Evans. He can start. He can fill some of that playmaking void, and he hasn't been able to this week.
Could you have phrased it this way? So, Nate, did he injure his lower back or have back soreness from the Euro step versus Marc Gasol in Memphis or sliding off the road after the flight returned home in Indy? And then, could you have phrased it that way?
You've asked me to phrase some questions to Nate, and I've gone ahead and done it, but I don't think I'm going to do that one tomorrow night. I appreciate the advice, but I'll probably just I'll just ask him if Tyreek's good to go and 100%.
Hey, did you say slump buster last night?
Yeah, I did actually. That's a baseball terminology. I got a little bit of flack on social media, and I understand what people are thinking. But our producer Max Leinwand has spent quite a bit of time producing baseball as well, and you hear that all the time when guys are struggling in baseball. I think our guy Tucker Barnhart would agree with me.
So, you do know what that
out of the gutter, everybody.
Well, I mean, it's. So are there two different terms? Because I think most everybody right now relates to the Mark Grace term of slump buster, and I think that's where everybody was going with you mentioning that last night. Are there two different ones?
Teams that were on losing streaks and needed something to go right. So you can take it however you want it.
I got a lot of respect. You didn't take.
Unfortunately, the Magic were not I thought that would be the medicine the Pacers needed, and it didn't quite go that way.
Well, listen, you can't let. It's just like Jeff Green the night before or Sam Decker the night before. You can't let Terrence Ross. I know he scored 50 in the game before. It's like 5 years ago. You can't let Terrence Ross get 30 on you. I mean, come on.
Well, I think that's when kind of like when you think of slumps, when everything can go wrong against you, they seem to pile up. And that's kind of what happened.
Did you really take a lot of flack from that? Did you seriously? Because I thought everybody was kind of going along with it.
Yeah, no, not too much. I think as long as you don't keep talking about it for the next 3 hours, I think I'll be okay and survive. But I think what you said is accurate.
So I can't play it. Can I not play it back?
Well, you do what you want.
No, if you don't want me to, I won't. I respect you. You know that. I won't if you don't want me to.
Hey, I just do what my producer tells me to sometimes, John.
Exactly.
So it's okay. It's out there. I get it, but
I'm not trying
to be worse things, right?
I'm not trying to get you in trouble or anything, so I don't want you to catch any flack on it whatsoever. All right, so we're going to watch.
The Miami Heat, the Miami Heat play tonight against the Pacers' old friend Paul George, so maybe they can be tired on Saturday night. Tyreek can come back, and everybody can kind of have a feel-good game. I think right now with 4 losses, you forget about everything good that happened with the team this season. You fear the worst, and it is a long season. I do think they have time to kind of figure things out. And as you mentioned, if somebody else can come and help things, and maybe they can get a little enthusiasm, a little spark here over the next week.
I just, again, after thinking about it last night, I'd be hard-pressed to believe that Kevin Pritchard is going to let this continue to spiral in the fashion in which it's spiraling without doing something about it. I do. I didn't feel exactly this way last week, but now the way that it's going right now, it would shock me if he did. I mean, it would.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Given his past before last season when no moves were made, he has been someone that has been active. And with what we've seen over the last couple of days in the NBA, I think every team is talking to virtually every other team. So there are going to be some opportunities. There are going to be guys, assets the Pacers have that could interest other teams, and there are going to be guys out there that the Pacers, whether it's trade or guys that get bought out, that could come in and help this team. And like I said, I guess I'd be surprised if nothing is done similar to you, because I do think there are guys on this team that have put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and they deserve a chance to kind of make the best run they can over the next couple of months. And they're not going to go down quietly. So I like you, I'd be surprised. We'll just have to wait and see. 1 week from now, we'll know a lot more.
7 p.m. tomorrow night, Fox Sports Indiana Pacer pregame show, and our friend Jeremiah Johnson's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He'll get you set for the Pacers and the Heat down in Miami tomorrow night. Thanks, JJ. Enjoy the weather down there. Have a great night.
I say, speaking of heat, you're going to have 50, 60 degrees back home tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm fired up for it this weekend, man. I'm going to lay out probably. Get a little bronzing. It'll be raining, but whatever. But All right, JJ, thanks as always, my friend. Appreciate it. Jeremiah Johnson with us. Hey, I mentioned this a little bit earlier. The Senate bill voting Wednesday regarding a Terre Haute casino legalizing sports betting, and finally gaming tables. Hoosier Park, Indiana Grand, the direction they should go. You know the direction they should go. We'll bring it up next.
Kick off the month of May at Rev, presented by Fifth Third Bank as it returns to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Saturday, May 4th. Tickets on sale now. Get yours before they're gone at revindy.org.
Dan Dockage here. A game plan is crucial, especially when it comes to your personal retirement finances. That's why I'm here with Casey Marks of Crown Haven Wealth Advisors.
Dan, many people may feel comfortable with their retirement accounts and may even be working with an advisor who's put a plan in place that they say will allow you to retire on schedule. But the fact is, 95% of Americans are one major stock market correction away from being permanently affected.
Okay, how does Crown Haven Wealth Advisors protect your wealth?
Dan, your deposit is fully insured beginning on the first day you open an account. With your hard-earned savings protected by guarantees, your money grows on a tax-deferred, annually compounded basis, taking advantage of market gains while shielding you from losses.
Whether you have questions, need strategic advice, or a second opinion, get a customized smart money plan handcrafted for your specific goals and needs. Call Casey at 844-896-SAFE, 844-896-7233, or online at crownhaven.com.
There's so many great things about Geico.
Jody from Indy was a medic in the U.S. Army before taking an entry-level position at Geico more than 26 years ago. Now she's a Geico trainer.
There's so many different career paths that you can take. I mean, it's just not sales and service, but we have claims, IT. We have a lot of opportunity, and there's so many other regions that are available to move to. I would say that Geico's a family. It is a culture. It's a community. Grass isn't always greener, but when you come to Geico, it's pretty green.
Visit geico.job/Indy to apply.
If you're thinking about a Valentine's Day proposal, come to Shane Company. I'm Rorden Shane, fourth-generation jeweler.
And I'm Tanner.
For years, Tanner's been helping our customers find the perfect engagement ring.
At Shane Company, we do everything we can to make it easy. Guys, whether you have an idea of what she's looking for or you have no idea, we're here to help. If you know what kind of ring she wants and you come in with some inspiration, like a picture, great. Or if you know the diamond shape she wants, we'll start by looking at stones. With the largest selection of rings, diamonds, rubies, and sapphires, it'll be easy to find a ring she'll love. If you're unsure of what to get, we can chat about her style and personality. What's she like? What's her job? Then we can show you rings that would be perfect for her. When you propose, you can be sure that moment will be everything she's always dreamed of.
Come to Shane Company, Indiana's friendliest jeweler. We make finding the perfect engagement ring fun and easy.
Now you have a friend in the diamond business.
Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
If you needed heart surgery, who would you call? A doctor who does it every day or a doctor who does it once a year? The same is true about your erectile dysfunction. At the Indianapolis Men's Clinic, our Indiana physicians focus on one thing: solving your ED. High blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, prostate cancer, these all contribute to your ED. And our physicians at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic know how to solve your problems. We have over 50 different custom formulations tailored just for you. You get to try the medication containing FDA-approved ingredients right in our office. Your total cost for the consultation, test dose, testosterone, and PSA test is only $99. If the test dose doesn't work, you pay us nothing. So you have absolutely nothing to lose, but everything to gain. Call now, 999-9000. That's 999-9000. And move from skeptic to believer. 999-9000. 999-9000. Or online at IndyMen'sClinic.com.
Hey, Dan Dockage here for Just Add Water Boats. There is nothing I love more than my Yamaha boat. Don't wait to buy that boat when it's hot out. Buy it now because the manufacturers like Yamaha are enticing you with great deals now. And Just Add Water Boats is having their Best of Show sales event where you can grab as low as 0 down and 4.99% APR or as low as 3.99% for the first 60 months on Yamaha boats. Visit at 465 on the east side or check them out online at justaddwaterboats.com.
Here's what's happening with the Fan.
The 2019 Circle City Donut Dash, hosted by Teachers Treasures, is Saturday, February the 16th. Register now to run an Indy's Tastiest 5K at 1070thefan.com. The Fan is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Like and follow the Fan for updates on all things Indy Sports Center. And you go to our website and you can find out where the next Fan event will be. Check out all of our live remotes, appearances, and more under the Events tab.
For more info, click on IndySportsCenter.com.
Oh, Royal Spa.
Butler hosts the Seton Hall Pirates tomorrow morning at 11:30 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Oh, wait just a minute. Didn't anybody knock anymore?
On FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Tony's over there. I'm John. Thank you, JJ, from joining us down in Miami. YouTube, we can find us here, 1070 The Fan, our page. Want to join us on YouTube? Want to see my face? A sweet Jake's retro t-shirt going on. Anybody know? You guys can see this Jake's t-shirt right now. You guys know where this is from? It's a shout to the shop in Broad Ripple and in Carmel who recreated this. But does anybody out there know what Jake's is?
The one in Lafayette?
No, I mean, there are Jake's everywhere. This is a specific Jake's, though. Anybody out there know what it is? Float that question out for anybody. I mentioned the Senate bill vote next Wednesday.
What is it?
Terre Haute, possibility of a casino, legalizing sports betting. And listen, I mean, we're slow, very slow with getting with the times. Slow. Is there anybody out there that is against this? If so, why? Anybody out there against Terre Haute Casino, against legalizing sports betting, table games at Indiana Grand and Hoosier Park? Anybody out there against it, and why? I'm assuming most people are for it, right? And I'm not trying to make this an easy way out. I mean, it sounds like one of those, hey, we got a slow day. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? Is Bob Knight, all these, class basketball things that everybody around here lived on for so many years, and to a degree still do at times. This seems like sort of a slam dunk to me. Am I missing out on the pitfalls? And I know this is probably coming under the heading of, hey, they probably handle that storyline downstairs. But, I mean, listen, there's a little bit of crossover at times. I'm not going to go to the political angles on you. I mean, me going the political angles is like them downstairs going sports. Come on. It's laughable. So, I'll never go the political angle. I guess this is pseudo-political. 239-1070. We'll work you in a second. David Byer got this right. The Jake's T-shirt that I'm rocking today. Actually, you know what? I think somebody's going to call. I'm going to let somebody calling in answer that. And I'll give you a great background story of Jake's. Would legalizing gambling affect Indianapolis' draw for major sporting events? I don't think so, but, I'm not rolling around all tight-butted and worrying about the world ending if somebody places a bet. That's just not me. Or for me. All right, Scott's got the answer regarding Jake's at 239-1070. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, how you doing? I just picked up. I got in the car, so I didn't catch the start of it. But there was a really good bar music place in Bloomington in the early 80s, kind of like the Bluebird.
Yep.
Called Jake's. It was then called Time Out. But it was about 2 or 3 years. Had really good shows there. So it's possible that might be worth
it. Yeah, Scott, that's exactly right, too. They had Jake's and they had the Bluebird, basically right next or, within half a block of one another. Bluebird still is there. Jake's is not. Jake's is a brewery place now, but.
It was Jake's, then it was Time Out after that, which saw some really good shows there.
It was Mars and Axis. Yep. I got kicked out of it when it was Mars for drinking my beer out of the tip jar once. But, here's the one thing I remember about Jake's. This goes, I think, back to maybe 1981, somewhere in that neighborhood. They used to have in the Bloomington Herald-Times then, which is now the Herald-Times of Bloomington, which has always been a great newspaper. They'd have little ads on the sports page for what's coming up Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at Jake's and the Bluebird, and Jake's would always have it. And I remember seeing a band, and it was just initials. It said, coming on Saturday, REM. And I go, what the hell's REM? And then we know what REM turned into.
Yeah, later, I missed that one, but I've got a couple buddies that they absolutely did see that one. And REM came back and did, they made some of, I can't remember which album it was, in Bloomington. So they
did, and like Mellencamp would show up occasionally. I mean, some of this is legend and some of this is accuracy, but would show up occasionally and do impromptu type of shows, and it's cool. Yeah, it was cool. But Jake's nightclub, indeed, Scott. Thank you for the call.
No problem. Take care.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I got time here. Do I got time for Randall?
Hurry.
I think we got time. Hey, Randall.
Long-winded.
Can you put the hustle on here, Randall, at 239-1070? Go.
Right on, man. We're not going to talk about Lance Stevenson. Dan Docker's already called me an idiot today, so hopefully you'll be kinder than that to me. I got an idea. You don't necessarily want to blow it up, so we won't blow it up, but we can do something else. Why not? We can shake it up and shock the league, whatever. Since LeBron's pretty much talking like he wants to get rid of Luke Walton as coach, why don't we trade McMillan to LA for Luke Walton? Why not? Why not? We can go a different direction there.
There's a lot.
Luke Walton's got to have some reputation.
There's a lot. Listen, the Lance thing has been. The Lance thing has been asked before, and I don't see that happening. I liked Lance. I liked Lance when he was here, but I don't see that happening at all. And then the coaching trade is, that's way out there.
Let's get Mark Jackson. Hey,
way out there. Randall, thank you for the call, my brother. Sorry about that. I got to run. Way out there. You got called an idiot already? I'm not calling him an idiot. I mean, hell, you spend your calling the show, idiot, whatever. But yeah, neither one will happen. Quick one. We'll come back. Top of the hour, Don Fisher. Bottom of the hour, Mike Wells. We'll get back to the whole gaming question coming up here, too. And your Super Bowl picks coming up at the 5 o'clock hour next.
At the corner of Main and Monon, above Carmel's only high-end steakhouse, sits a bar that's so relaxing and scenic, you wish it was just your little secret. The atmosphere is inviting, the environment controlled both inside and out, and the chef-prepared shareables are just as exciting and fresh as the wonderful tasting cocktail that breathes a uniqueness one can only call innovative. Welcome to 3 Up, above Anthony's Chop House, with rooftop views of Carmel, including the growing wall, the perfect selfie spot, easy parking, and weekly entertainment. 3 Up, Main and Monon, Carmel.
At Huntington, we're always looking out for you. So when our customers told us it can be tough to keep track of spending, we invented the Tighten Up belt.
Hey, Mike. Oh, that's an interesting belt you got there. It's big and green.
Oh, thanks. It's my Huntington Tighten Up belt. Helps me stay on track with my spending.
How can a belt do that?
Well, when I'm overspending, it tightens up as a reminder to stay on budget. Here, watch this. Thinking about buying something expensive. A boat. Oh, yeah, a huge yacht. With gold chandeliers. Oh, boy. 250-footer.
Okay, I get it. And how do you make it stop?
Maybe I don't need a boat.
You okay, Mike?
Give me a minute.
So we simplified, presenting Huntington Heads Up. You set the monthly amounts you want to spend on shopping, and we'll send a heads up to your phone to keep you on track. It's just one more way we're looking out for you. Huntington, welcome. Member FDIC, carriers message and data rates may apply.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BV, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Hey, it's 1 hour heating and air conditioning, 855 1 hour. How's your system working right now, too? I advised you a little bit early. I hope you went out there and at some point before, or certainly by now, decided to go ahead and change that filter up. It's a big deal right there. Just eyeball it, too. Pull it out of there. If it looks like a concrete block, then you have an issue and it needs to be changed. But I would check it out right now, absolutely. And then call my friends at 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning out to make sure everything else is running as well as it should. Because if it's not, you're going to be cold. If it's not, it's going to cost you money, and you don't want either. Make sure the experts come out. They need to fix something, by the way. They'll carve $51 off of any repair. That's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning today. 855 1 hour. 855 1 hour today.
The Boston Celtics host the Oklahoma City Thunder. Sunday afternoon at 1:30 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. The Pacers' push toward postseason play continues. The blue and gold are fighting through injuries and adversity.
Oladipo is seated under the goal. Taken off on a stretcher.
But we've been here before, and you know this team won't give up.
Thaddeus Young with yet another tremendous play.
Next up, the Pacers extend their stay in Florida and head to Miami. Saturday at 7 o'clock. Every play of every game heard here. Your home for Pacers basketball at FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. Sports with Dan Dockage.
Is there anything to our locker room can handle this guy?
I don't know if we're quite there. I think we're getting close, but I don't know if we're quite there. Just because you win doesn't mean you have it right. We're not taking a victory lap. We're going to start over at square one. That's what you do every year. I mean, last year's over. Great year. Good look back on when we're done, but that's over.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon till 3 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV, FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Hey, Don Fisher in just a second. This would be called a cue to call right here. Tony, identify who's singing this song right here. John Mayer singing this song. John Mayer has 2 dates in Indy coming up this summer. The first is with Dead & Company. It's June the 12th. He's all by his lonesome at Bankers Life Fieldhouse, August the 12th. John Mayer tickets, 239-1070. Number 7's going. Tony's got you at number 7 right here. John Mayer, Bankers Life Fieldhouse in August. This is from Steve Schmock at JMV. I saw Kenny Wayne Shepherd at Mars Nightclub back in 2000. I think Kenny Wayne Shepherd's been there. He's been at the Noodle here in Indy a lot. He's been on the show before. Hey, JMV, I'm with you on the whole gambling event, too. Completely agree. I just always kind of find it hilarious. I mean, at the very least, let Indiana Grand and Hoosier Park have real gaming tables and not some bullcrap video screen. We all know we're getting hosed with that. Come on. At the very least. Oh, we'll go ahead. We go all the way here, but we don't need that. Table games. How silly is it? It's next Wednesday, by the way. Pacers tomorrow night in Miami. Jeremiah Johnson was down in South Florida a moment ago. That's a 7:30 tip tomorrow night, 7 p. Your coverage begins down there. Bob Lovell a little bit earlier, too. Big shows for you coming up next week. And, of course, Super Sunday coming up on Sunday. Butler at home versus Seton Hall tomorrow afternoon at noon. You got Purdue, Minnesota, Sunday at noon. Hoosiers on the road and on a 7-game losing skid right now. The voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher, is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Well, this is one hellacious situation coming up tomorrow night, I guess, huh? So 7 consecutive losses. East Lansing, that's not good.
Yes, it's the end of the world. I'm predicting it tomorrow night.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and we feel fine. That's an REM reference, courtesy of Don Fisher right there. Just when you think things can't get worse, by God, it seems like they do. I mean, it has been just a really, really awful season to this point. January was ridiculously bad.
Well, I mean, it really was a good season leading up to January. And then they beat Illinois. Yeah. And everybody goes, wow, I love this. And now everybody's going, man, I hate this. So it's not good. There's no question about it. And, there are lots of reasons you can say are why we're having these struggles right now. But nobody wants to listen to them. And obviously I understand that. And at this juncture, you got to find a way to get turned around, and I know Archie Miller and his staff are trying to do that. Your basketball team is really at this juncture looking like when they go out there, they really played well on the outset of the Rutgers ball game, and then they have a 12-minute stretch where they basically score 3 points. The last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 8 minutes of the second half. Romeo Langford hit a 3, and that were the only points scored. In that 12-minute period, I think they went a full 9 minutes without scoring a basket and without scoring a point. That just can't happen if you're a really good ball club, and right now this team is not, and it's struggling, and I don't know what the answers are. I just know what I see. I know what the coach does in practice. I know what he demands, all those kinds of things, but at this juncture, the players aren't getting it done, and it's that simple.
Do you have any idea, I guess, certainly for the month of January, that this team offensively was going to be as ineffective, especially from distance? I didn't think it was going to be a great three-point shooting team, but it's been god-awful three-point shooting.
It has, John, and that's been the biggest issue is knocking down shots from outside. They have done a very poor job of that with the exception of one ball game, and that ball game was Maryland. And as everybody knows, they got beat in that contest. But they actually shot it, I think, 49% in that ball game and hit like 40% of their three-point shots in that contest and knocked down every free throw that they shot. So, you could say in this situation that was an anomaly game, but they still lost. And that's been the biggest issue, finding a way to win when for an 8-game stretch there during December, they found ways to win every one of those ball games except one. And they were essentially a basketball team that everybody had in their top 25 and were looking like a team that was really going to contend in the Big Ten, and then it's just fallen apart. Part of that is the schedule has been terrifically difficult, but at the same time, you've got to win the games that you have a chance to win, or at least you should win, and they have not done that. And that has really, I think, destroyed their confidence level. And I think that's as big a problem with this team as anything right now is their confidence. They've had all kinds of situations where, you've got Devontae Green suspended. Deron Davis hasn't played a lick here of late. Robert Finney has not come back looking like the same player he was before his concussion, and then he was out for a month. All of these things are playing into this situation right now. And, of course, McRoberts hasn't been the same player he was a year ago or the year before all year this year because of the back injury, and now he's got a foot problem, and it just goes on and on. So, honestly, John, right now this team's confidence level is at an all-time low, I would assume. They came out and played really tough in the very beginning of that game against Rutgers, and it all went down the tubes in the second half. And obviously, if that continues, this team is going to have a very early end to the season.
No doubt about that. It's Don Fisher on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You see everything there is to see about this team, and you know what is most commonly brought up by fans out there is, and it's probably the easiest thing to bring up is, well, if these guys just played hard, I'd be okay with it or whatever. I mean, how much of this team do you see where they're not giving the type of effort that is necessary or is required by Archie Miller?
Well, honestly, the Nebraska game to me was the low point in that area. I thought the Nebraska game they came out and went through the motions and did not perform in any way, shape, or form like an Indiana basketball team. Other than that ball game, I don't see that there's a lack of effort. I see that they don't seem to have any cohesion. They don't seem to have any understanding sometimes of what they're supposed to be doing. They make silly mistakes, fundamental mistakes, things that this team was very good at back in December and November. They're now not making those kind of silly mistakes all the time. And even though the turnover problem hasn't been as significant of late as it was early on during the first 2 months of the season, and they've only really had one really bad turnover ball game since then. But honestly, when you look at it, it looks like they're confused. It doesn't look like they really understand what they're supposed to be doing sometimes. And that's not a lack of practice. I go to practice, John. You know that. And I see at least a practice a week, maybe even more than that on occasion. I see the walkthroughs. I see what the coaching staff does with these guys. But as soon as they start missing shots, this team's confidence level just drops to a low that you cannot believe. That's what it looks like anyway. And to a layman, I can understand why they would say, well, there's a lack of effort there.
Yeah. So Don Fisher joining us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Is this the worst month of IU basketball that you have seen ever?
Probably, because I've been around a long time, but there was a lot of success in those other years. We haven't seen. Now you could go back and argue that there was a pretty bad month or two during the first 3 years of Tom Crean when he was rebuilding the program from zero. So I'm not sure it's the worst month I've seen. I tend to forget a lot of bad stuff, John.
That's good. You need to. That's like a cleansing process.
Yes,
that's why you look like you're 35.
I tend to let it go fairly quickly. But at the same time, there's no question it's very concerning right now. You hope that this team can find itself again. Obviously, trying to do that against Michigan State tomorrow night is not going to be an easy task, to say the least. And you just hope that they go up there and play and give a great effort and keep it within the realm of understanding. That's my hope, and I would even hope for an upset of some kind, but I don't see that happening simply because of the way Michigan State's been playing. I don't care if they got beat by Purdue or not. Purdue is one of the best teams in the country right now, the way they're playing, even though they didn't play great against Penn State last night. But that said, to get beat by Purdue, there's nothing to be ashamed about there. And I can tell you, here's the worst part of it for Indiana. Michigan State hasn't had a game since then.
Yeah.
So Tom Izzo, I guarantee you, this is the same scenario that took place last year, I think, when Indiana played them. They had a week to get prepared, and Indiana was playing games in the middle of the week like they have this week. So that's not a good situation for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, Dane was on here yesterday cracking Izzo jokes, too, so you know that they're loose.
I think I heard Dane yesterday, and he did say something that was very interesting to me in talking about Romeo Langford. He said, they asked him something about, Romeo. I can't remember if it was you or I assume it was, but maybe it was Dockich. I can't remember whose show he was on. But he said something about Romeo Langford and the fact that they already had a scouting report on Langford coming out of high school and knew how they were going to play him.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean that most of the Big Ten coaches have done that? Well, I think they have, because take a look at his production. Even though he had 20 against Rutgers the other night, take a look at his production in the rest of the Big Ten games since January's Illinois contest.
Yeah.
They've shut him down pretty effectively. They've taken away the right side of the floor for him. He's had anything he gets inside, it's contested. He can draw some fouls and those kinds of things. And until the Rutgers game, he really hadn't hit 3-pointers at all, except for the Maryland game. I think he was 3 for 6 in that game, and he was 3 for 7 in the game against Rutgers. So he was actually hitting some outside jump shots in this contest against Rutgers, which we haven't seen a lot of as the season has gone on.
I forget what they were the other night, but up until they were 25 of 106 through these 6 consecutive losses. I know that you and Joe and Eric could do better than that. I know.
Well,
I know.
I honestly don't know what the issues are outside of what I've discussed here. If there are other issues that I'm not aware of, and certainly I don't go to every practice and I don't go to every meeting, and I understand that. And I don't want to be at every practice and every meeting, if you know what I'm saying, because that's not my job. My job is to do play-by-play, to try to be as objective with the play-by-play as I can be. And right now, sometimes you have to bite your tongue because of some of the way that they're going about their business out there, and it's very frustrating, no question.
I'm not gonna give you the quote here. I'm sure you've probably seen it, right? Fred Glass to the Board of Trustees about IU basketball being in a serious rebuild. Did you think this is a serious rebuild when Archie took over?
Well, I thought it was a rebuild in the sense of the culture, changing the culture, instituting what he wants to do as a coach from an offensive and a defensive standpoint. All of those aspects of it were certainly a rebuild, and changing the culture of this team and getting them tougher and all those kinds of things. I think that's a factor as well. At this juncture, it looks like a complete rebuild right now. I don't think it is. I think there's enough talent there. I don't think there's any question they have talent. The question is to get that talent playing together, getting understanding. I mean, if you look back now, John, at this season and go through, and I haven't looked at it that closely, but I can tell you in almost every game that they've been beaten in, their assist to turnovers is significantly down. I mean, they had like 7 assists in the game against Rutgers the other night. That's been an ongoing situation here in this losing streak. Their assist to turnovers is nowhere near where it should be. And I don't know what that issue is. They're just not moving the ball like they're supposed to. They're certainly not moving it like they did in November and December, and that's a big issue, I think, with this offense right now. And if the offense isn't working, then you got to play your butt off at the defensive end, and they're not doing that well either.
Yeah, there's just really not anything. I was thinking about this yesterday and talking about it. There's just not anything you can really point the finger to that they're doing well. That's right. The biggest issue. I mean, seriously. I mean, what has gone well through 7 losses consecutively, and I can't find like Michigan. I thought Michigan, Don, honestly, was the worst game I could remember IU playing, especially at the beginning. I just couldn't come up with any. Like people were saying, well, Minnesota back in the 80s, but I mean, at least Minnesota was on the road in that really crappy gym they continued to play in, right? So, I couldn't think of anything as bad as that Michigan game.
Well, I know that I haven't seen a start like that for Indiana, especially at home, ever. So let's face it, that was a pathetic start. There wasn't anything they could do right to start that ball game. And then once you put yourself in that 17-0 hole, how are you going to dig your way out against a team like Michigan? It's just not going to happen.
No, you just get buried because a good team like that puts you away. They don't let you get back up. What do you think about the uniforms, the new uniforms?
I don't have a problem with them. I'm not a big uniform guy. I don't notice things unless it's demonstrative, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
So I actually like the uniforms that they're wearing right now. I don't have an issue with them in any way, shape, or form. I guess they're not exactly like Indiana's always worn, but I don't have a problem with that sometimes. I really don't.
Is this you in the picture here? You don't see the face. You just see like the dude. Is this you?
I don't know what you're looking at.
You haven't seen the picture of the uniform?
No.
Whoever it is, the dude's cut. I mean, I thought it was you.
Not if you actually saw me with my clothes off, big boy. That is not a pretty sight.
I saw Rab John sent this out, and I thought for sure that it doesn't show the face. I thought maybe this is you. I guess not.
You're a sick boy.
I know that's not Sir for sure.
You're not. You're
I bet it might have been Joe Smith back in 1974 and he's looking like Jim Rockford days.
I can't vouch for that either.
Yeah. What time you guys hit the air? 5 o'clock tomorrow?
5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and that's a bit of an early start, which is just up my alley. I like those early starts.
Yes, you do.
6 o'clock tip time. We'll actually get home maybe before midnight for a change.
And then you're probably going to get some golf in when it gets in the 50s?
I don't know if it gets to the 50s and it's past Monday, I might get one round in someplace.
No, nothing wrong with it. All right, we'll be listening coming up later on tomorrow night. See what happens up in East Lansing. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Don, as always, thank you.
Thanks for having me, John.
It's Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers right there. Yeah, it's a lot to work through. Anybody have anything good? Anything good at all about IU? Listen, 7-game win streak, losing streak, I should say. There's nothing good about it. But, I mean, anything at all you point to is, hey, well, this. And there's not. There's zero. Another reason why it's so bad. IU tomorrow versus Michigan State. I mentioned Butler tomorrow. Butler is at home versus Seton Hall. Boilermakers win last night in overtime. Put 99 on the board at State College. One of these days, I should have asked Don this, but I don't think he's doing radio. She doesn't notice. But watching those games on TV at Penn State are brutal. Because the microphone is right there with those 3 Penn State fans right there. There's no worse broadcast anywhere than the ones that you have to watch from Penn State. And essentially last night, I started listening to the Clizzer and Rob Blackman because it was just so bad. Bad as you're going to get right there. So Boilermakers back at it on Sunday at noon versus Minnesota. JJ joined us a little bit earlier from Miami. We got Pacers Miami coming up tomorrow night too. Is everything okay over there? What? All right.
I don't know. I don't give a crap anymore.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna train me on. They want to just throw something at me and not train me on it. Nothing I can do.
Nobody knows what that means. Why I would? Yeah, I mean,
it's all
right. I think you better give a crap, right? Probably should. That's part of the requirement there.
Not on this. Not on this. I'm not caring about that.
Probably should, man. I'm just telling you. You probably, as somebody that's been there and done that, you probably should. JMV. This has been in Greenwood. The Pacers are terrible right now because they never do the right thing, like getting rid of these contracts and loading up for the future. Assets, but never any action. And we continue to get nothing for those assets. I said this last week, and I thought that if you come to a point where somebody wants somebody on your team that you don't visualize further down the road, you don't visualize as early as next year, then yeah, I do understand that. But you don't know, I mean, other than the expiring contracts, you don't know which ones they want back, and you don't know who might want those. Like a lot of you I know are saying, hey, Tyreek Evans or whatever. But that's the issue that you have. And I felt last night that Kevin Pritchard might not want to go out in the fashion as we've seen this Pacer team in the past 4 days. Check that. Past 4 games. I don't see it. I don't know what that means. And then logically, what are you going to do? I get it. There are going to be some fireworks before the trade deadline. There have already been fireworks before the trade deadline. And the logic here is that if you're going to try to make yourself better now, it needs to help this team for the foreseeable future. Can't hinder this team for the foreseeable future because nobody's selling anything out for this season, right? I mean, I didn't think they were going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals anyway. But I also didn't think, and that was with Vic, but I also didn't think in the past 4 they would look as bad as they have for the most part in the past 4. I mean, when you think about it. Tomorrow marked a week ago in Memphis. That wasn't a good effort in a loss. Yeah, Golden State, everybody laughed and joked about it because everybody enjoys a great offense, and Steph Curry was playing, and that's great, but that was awful. Got beat by 30. And probably the most embarrassing of the 4 losses since Vic went down for the season was what took place midweek in Washington. And last night. And there's always kind of a common denominator to it, right? Especially defensively. Last night it was Terrence Ross with 30. Night prior to in Washington, it was Jeff Green, Sam Decker. I mean, listen, you know what Golden State's going to do, but there's always this common theme. Why is everybody dropping in the Markelle Fultz stuff? Is there a Markelle Fultz rumor out there that I haven't seen? Like, apparently the Sixers are shopping Markelle Fultz because his name is, like, everywhere right now. Everywhere. Markelle Fultz, this is so awesome right there. Fenson writes this, hey, JMV, this is how I envision you back in the day roaming the mall. Holy crap, that looks exactly like me right there. That's outstanding, Fenson. Absolutely outstanding. It's from Steve. Hey, JMV, I'm not against sports gambling, but just want businesses like bars and restaurants statewide to be able to offer bets, not just casinos and online apps. I feel you. JMV, only thing good about IU is that the fans here, they still care. We still watch. We still love. Hey, listen, though, I'll tell you, there are a lot of you bailing. You cannot tell me that people a week ago tonight hung in there for that Michigan game. There's no way. You might have hung in there for Rutgers because at least it was, had a lead. There's no way anybody hung in there for that ridiculous Michigan game. It's from Alex Golden. If Domas is worn out, sit him for a game and let Kyle O'Quinn play for him. Maybe let O'Quinn play the next 2 games and then bring Domas back for the Lance return to Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Anybody else think that Sabonis looks worn right now? I said this a little bit earlier. I think Sabonis looks worn. Sabonis missing shots on the interior that he just has not hit. He looks completely different, especially in the last 4, than what he did in the first 2.5 months of the season. Completely different. It's from Chris. I'm not necessarily calling for his job, but Nate has absolutely zero offensive creativity, and bad rotation management seems to sit the hot hand until it's, too late. A lot of people are anti-Nate right now. Mason writes this. Do you know why the back of the waistband? I haven't seen the back of the waistband. I've only seen the front of the shirt in IU. Guess I'd have to look it up. JMV, I was born and I went to college in Terre Haute. A new casino could only make the town better. Neil, I'm right there with you, my brother. Easily right there with you. Be good for Terre Haute. All right, quick one. We'll come back. All right, last word, 6:30. Mike Wells, bottom of this hour. Anything goes coming up at 6 o'clock. See where we go with the Mike Wells slow jam re-entry coming up next, too.
Nothing says I love you like a diamond. For centuries and across cultures, it's remained the universal symbol of love, romance, and commitment. And at Diamonds Direct this Valentine's, we're making it easier than ever to celebrate your love with diamond jewelry she'll cherish for a lifetime. Join us February 4th through the 14th for our best offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing with nothing down on any purchase. Choose from a special expanded selection of the most romantic gifts, rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and bands. Get the guaranteed best price and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And yes, all engagement rings are included. So come on, make it an unforgettable day for her with a special gift that symbolizes your love and commitment like nothing else. It's Diamonds Direct Spectacular Valentine's Celebration with in-store appearances from top jewelry designers, an expanded selection including gifts as low as $200 and 5 years 0 interest financing on approved credit. February 4th through the 14th only, and only at Diamonds Direct.
Keystone at the Crossing.
Need a little adult beverage to help you cope with this week's crazy weather? Well, Payless Liquors has got you covered 7 days a week and from 26 different locations. How about Canadian Club? The 175s are just $16.99. Bacardi Silver 175s, $19.99. And the Absolute 80 Proof 175s are just $25.99. Joe Got Rose Wine is just $9.99 a bottle. And Goose Island 15 packs, $14.99 at Payless Liquors, where prices are always low to help pick you up. And online at PaylessLiquors.com. Don't pay more, get more, and pay less at Payless Liquors.
Get ready for the greatest little show on earth. The Micro Wrestling Federation is back and bigger than ever. Live and direct from the Jerry Springer Show, Maury Povich, and the WWE. You've never seen a midget wrestling show like this before.
Hey, bring it on.
High flying, body slamming, and off the top rope. Don't miss the Midget Mania with the Micro Wrestling Federation at 8 Second Saloon this Friday. Tickets and reserved seating available at Ticketmaster or the 8 Seconds box office. Must be 21.
Dan Dockage here. You know, a game plan is crucial, especially when it comes to your personal retirement finances. That's why I'm here with Casey Marks of Crown Haven Wealth Advisors.
You know, Dan, many people may feel comfortable with their retirement accounts and may even be working with an advisor who's put a plan in place that they say will allow you to retire on schedule. But the fact is, 95% of Americans are one major stock market correction away from being permanently affected.
Okay, how does Crown Haven Wealth Advisors protect your wealth?
Dan, your deposit is fully insured beginning on the first day you open an account. With your hard-earned savings protected by guarantees, your money grows on a tax-deferred, annually compounded basis, taking advantage of market gains while shielding you from losses.
Whether you have questions, need strategic advice, or a second opinion, get a customized smart money plan handcrafted for your specific goals and needs. Call Casey at 844-896-SAFE, 844-896-7233, or online at crownhaven.com.
John for PAI, WeGrowHairAndy.com, 888-724-5129. Or, as I mentioned, WeGrowHairAndy.com, multi-unit hair grafting artist, robotic FUE. I'm telling you, Darren Andrews will tell you all about it. So who out there is getting a little bit antsy about the hairline, the thinning hair, the forehead turning into the five-head, and you don't want any of it? I understand. Multi-unit hair grafting's the way to go, too, because you want it real. It's your real growing hair. There's no spray paint. There's no Krylon involved here. It's a real deal. Your real growing hair, again, by utilizing platelet-rich plasma. That's PRP. Listen, I'm not going to explain that to you. Let somebody that really, truly knows about it, Darren Andrews, tell you all of what entails multi-unit hair grafting at PAI, where you're treated like a VIP. It's 888-724-5129 or WeGrowHairAndy.com today.
The Pacers' push toward postseason play continues. The blue and gold are fighting through injuries and adversity.
Oladipo is seated under the goal.
Taken off on a stretcher.
But we've been here before, and you know this team won't give up.
Thaddeus Young with yet another tremendous play.
Next up, the Pacers extend their stay in Florida and head to Miami. Saturday at 7 o'clock. Every play of every game heard here. Your home for Pacers basketball at FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
It's Andy Moore Toyota in Avon, 5 miles west of 465 on US 36, and it's JMV. You got to eyeball what you want. Online, AndyMooreToyota.com, and then go out there and see my friend Jeremy Wilson. Talk to Moose, the two Chris's, and Andrew about how you can get in the car, truck, or van of your choice. It's the absolute best because of the way that they deal with you. I'm telling you, you'll continue to go back to Indiana's best. It's Andy Moore Toyota in Avon, 5 miles west of 465 on US 36.
The Ride with JMV, FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Yeah, we'll get Mike Wells on here right now. See if we can get this. This is back when he was young, but most people around here know exactly what this Quiet Storm Classic represents. A little Indianapolis flavor here. Busy show so far. We'll recap it. Mike Wells with the Quiet Storm re-entry when Tony gets him on here. Just a moment. Let them listen, by the way. Let them soak it in. Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline, ESPN.com, Mike Wells. Hold on a second. Listen to this part, Mike. Listen to it here. This might be the best one I've ever played here, right here. With all my heart. Let's do it here. You ready to go, Mike? I only think of you on 2 occasions. day and night.
Best day and night. I go for broke if I could.
All right. What do you got here, Mike Wells?
Hey, that's the deal right there, baby. The deal.
That is a little Babyface action. That's a little Indianapolis flavor going. Babyface has never been on this show. How ridiculous is that?
I'm telling you, Jay. I think of you on two occasions, Jay. Fridays between 4:30 and 5:30, and when I'm about to open that big green egg. The two times I think of you, brother.
The deal, two occasions. So L.A. Reid and Babyface produced this. Yeah. I've never had any of the Edmonds family on this show. I should be embarrassed by that.
How is that possible?
I have no idea. I'm such a huge fan, too. I can't get anybody. Amp Harris has not even been able to work this out, and normally that guy can work magic anywhere, anytime.
I mean, Amp knows everybody.
Yes. Yeah. The deal, two occasions. I think it was released in 88, recorded in 1987. That's a little bit before you, but it's a Quiet Storm classic right there, Mike.
Oh, yes, man. Yes. Oh, man, listen. We don't have anything else to talk about. We made this whole segment about slow jams, which I gotta say on Wednesday, Tony mixed it up a little bit, man. I don't know because Greg Redshaw doesn't have any soul or whatnot, but we didn't have all slow jam re-entries.
You did? Oh, you had. Okay, so you guys went some different. What'd you do?
I mean, some of the I didn't even know who the hell some of the people were he was playing, man.
All right. Come on. Did he go? He told me he went.
You know who Rump Shaker is?
Oh, but you did Reaction Effect. You know that, right?
Yeah. But he had a couple of, he had some alternative music that I didn't know.
What?
So,
no.
I don't know what it is. He threw Rakestraw a bone because, you're like an albino brother, man. Rakeshaw's just a white guy.
Played PM Dawn. Oh, he didn't like
Rakestraw's just a white guy.
He didn't like the PM Dawn.
Oh, you didn't like the PM Dawn?
No.
Black Box.
Yes, Black. Yeah, I didn't know who that was.
Oh, you didn't know everybody? It's everybody. You don't know "Strike It Up" by Black Box? Ooh,
no.
That's a white man's overbite classic right there. That's a
exactly.
Ooh, boy,
that's why I didn't know it.
The Black Box, and CNC Music Factory basically popped at the same time. That was a big deal back in the day.
Man, that was like around 1990 or so.
1990. You had those two. You had Kathy Dennis and DeMob. Oh, man. It was all popping back then, Mike.
You had a mullet, man, so you was just rolling right on in.
Oh, the chicks were all just absolutely sickened by my presence. Yeah, exactly. Hey, that was my back when I first started going to the bar, and I was ordering 7 and 7s. That's all I ever drank when I first started going to the bar. 7 and 7.
Listen, and that's what Mark Boyle still drinks.
It does. The 7 and 7 guy. So I moved along from that. Hey, thank you, by the way, for joining in studio Greg and Tony on Wednesday when I was out. I do appreciate that. I know that you guys probably talked a little bit of Pacers. I've been trying to figure out this 4-game losing streak right now is weird because for the life of me, I can't think, Mike, that Kevin Pritchard is going to let this season slide out of control without doing something, trying to do something about it. I can't.
And it's already doing it. And I got to tell you right now, Jay, before we even get on to what moves they should or shouldn't make, I did go ahead and say that I clearly disagree with you. I want to let you know I said on the air. You're not going to be up front. I said on the air that I disagree with you about Miles Turner.
Yeah, and then Miles went out and got me 27 and 7 last night. Thank you very much.
Yes, he did. After basically not doing much in the last 3 games that they lost. But yeah, but no. Yeah. And honestly, what I did say was, I believe Miles Turner is what he is. I just, we were talking about guys trying to step up and go forward, and I'm not sure Miles is going to continue to get much better.
So you think he's sealed out?
Yeah, what you see is what you get with Miles Turner. I don't have faith. We're talking about guys that can take it to the next level, and I'm not sure Miles is going to be capable of doing that.
So do you think Miles will ever be a 15 and 8 guy consistently?
Yeah, 15. Yeah, I could say 15 and 8. But I mean, you think about where he was picked, where he was visioned. Are you fine with having a 15 and 8 guy?
We think people around here would take 15-8 consistently from him. What do you think? What do you think people are looking for from him?
Hovering, closer to 20 and 10. I know it's only just 2 rebounds, but more so closer to 20 and 10 than 15 and 8. 15 and 8 is average. Miles Turner should not just be an average basketball player. He should be a clear number 2 who can take over a basketball game when Victor Oladipo is not in the lineup.
And that's every game. And you're right. I mean, he hadn't played. He's had a couple of games where he hadn't played well at all. He did play well last night. I do say this. I think he's going in the direction in which you want in this era big men to go. I mean, trying to refine that spot-up three-point game. That's just the direction where they're going. I mean, hell, Embiid's probably, you saw it last night, the best low-post player, one of the best low-post players you're going to find is a big guy, and that guy still takes a ton of threes. That's just the way that it is.
You want I would if I'm in the Pacers organization or I'm a Pacers diehard fan, I want Miles Turner to be as close as possible to Joel Embiid as far as what he's able to do. Because you're right, Joel still shoots threes, but at the same time, he'll go out and get you, 30 points and 22 rebounds.
So Miles is drafted, 11th overall, I think, in 2015. Justice Winslow, Frank Kaminsky before him, Trey Lyles, and then Devin Booker after him. Cameron Payne was in there, too. Could you not make an argument with that draft? Tony, look at that draft really quick. Or Mike, I'll name them for you. Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, Jahlil Okafor, Porzingis, Mario Hezonja, Willie Cauley-Stein, Moutier, Stanley Johnson, Kaminsky, Justice Winslow, and Miles Turner. And I know it's tough to do because you're not looking at it, but with the names you just heard, if you were going to redraft for that draft, where would Miles fit in?
Man, hey, run it by me again real quick.
Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell's going to the All-Star game. He's going to replace Vic, who's obviously injured. Jahlil Okafor. Kristaps Porzingis. Mario Hezonja. Willie Cauley-Stein. Emmanuel Moutier. Stanley Johnson. Frank Kaminsky. Justice Winslow. And Miles Turner.
I mean, Miles is definitely better than most of those guys. Miles
top 5. He was selected. He's top 5 in that group.
I'm taking Okafor off that list, and then I'm taking Miles at number 5 behind Porzingis.
Yeah, I think you take Okafor, Hezonja, Willie Cauley-Stein. I guess is all right for what he is. Moutier, no. Stanley Johnson hasn't done anything. Kaminsky doesn't play anymore. Justice Winslow, I guess, is all right. I think you would take Miles in the top 5 there, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That's not going. You don't think that he's going to grow any more than what you see right now? He's going to be a 12, the occasional 20-point scorer, and that's about it.
I mean, that's from what if I'm at the base of what I've seen, I'm going to say yeah. I mean, I'm not convinced. He needs to show me more. He needs to show me more of what we saw last night for me to change my mind.
All right,
you're too inconsistent in doing that.
What's the overall? Is it inconsistency? Is it something else? What's the overall reason you have a very low belief in him?
Inconsistency, way too inconsistent. I mean, listen. I mean, I know you like Miles and stuff, and I see on Twitter with fans when Miles has those bad games, they like to go after you, and when he does play well, so you go back at him and stuff. But I'd rather see you going back at fans saying "I told you so," which means Miles is playing better, than having to watch fans, say.
Well, no, listen though, I could, but I choose not to. I don't want to do. What the hell do I want to do? I told you so all the time. I just choose not to. I'll leave that to everybody else.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I leave that to everybody else. I don't think he's having a bad season. I still think that his contract is a nice contract moving forward. I don't think it's that weight-bearing of a contract, and I think he fits in here. I do. I think he fits in well. The problem is, I think with a lot of fans, he's never going to be the back-to-the-back interior guy that they want him to be. He's just not going to be that. I don't think that's a bad thing. Now, the problem is, you don't have to make a decision now with he and Sabonis, but down the road you're going to have to make a decision. And I'll give you something about Sabonis. Sabonis is worn out right now. So everybody that wanted Sabonis more minutes and he should be playing the entire game or whatever, look at him right now. Dude's worn out.
Oh, hey, listen, I'm not saying Sabonis should start over Miles. I need to see more consistency and less vanishing out of it. And the back to the basket stuff from big men, that's not there anymore. There's very few guys that play back to the basket. It's all about big men who can go down the score in the post when they can and also step out on the three. That's just how the NBA is transitioned. If the back to the basket was still part of the game, Roy Hibbert would be a backup center somewhere in the NBA still.
Hey, and let's get right down to it. And I don't know if this. I'm assuming this is probably a little bit of you, but mostly everybody out there that still is anti-Miles and forever will be anti-Miles. They view him as incredibly soft, and they don't ever see him being anything other than that. Right? That it?
I wouldn't call him. I'm not gonna say Miles is soft. I can't say I'm not in the crowd of saying Miles Turner is a soft player. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I just need to see. I need to see more 20 and 8s and less, 12 and 4-point. It's 4 rebound games. That's what I need to see more of.
Yeah, I just the rebound thing is weird because I think he's having a nice rebounding year, but there are some where he's not around it too much. I've always said this, Mike, and it's kind of laughable, right? I mean, I'm the one that told Sabonis to flop to get calls last year, which is ridiculous and laughable, but I always watch guys, and Miles, you ever notice that the one-year contract guys, they take rebounds from Miles? You ever notice that? I'm telling you. Thad's going at Bojan's. All these one-year contract guys are going after that board, and Miles just kind of, whatever. So,
hey, circling back to what the original part, what we're talking about with Kevin Pritchard and his roster and the way the Pacers are playing, what do you think Pritchard should do?
Here's what I think is going to end up happening. I like a guy like Wes Matthews who got traded is going to get a contract bought out, and he's going to be out there, and I can see him going that direction. I don't think it's going to be enough, but I think they're going to go in that direction. But I am not going to eliminate Kevin trying to do something. I mean, he is a wheeler and dealer doing something. I wouldn't have said this last week. But through 4 games and losing, while a lot of people are saying sell, get rid of it, get rid of the one-year contract guys right now, build for next year, it's hard-pressed for me to believe that Kevin Pritchard's going to let this team go out that way. Does that make sense to you? And I don't know how many options he might have, but I think that, to me right now, he'd be more open to those options than he would have been immediately after, for example, the Vic injury, because of what he has seen through 4 games. That's kind of where I was with it last night.
Yeah, when you think about it, guys that possibly could be traded. You think of the Thad Youngs, Corey Josephs, and/or Darren Collison. So Aaron Holiday gets more playing time. You get Boyo because he's in the last year of his contract to try to get some young players to see what they can have and stuff. What I will say is, and I'm sure you get it way more than me because I know you're talking about it on the air all the time. People say, oh, yeah, just throw in the towel on the season. Let them tank. It's not about tanking. First of all, there's no such thing as – the Philadelphia Sixers tanked for like 15 straight years and finally got some stuff done. But Pritchard's mind frame is not to just tank. If he's going to trade some of these veterans to get some young players, it's all about, all right, let's see if these young players can bring some more energy, while also seeing where they fit in for the future. It's not about coming in and lose to try to get improved draft position, because I would be shocked, utterly shocked, if this team went from they were 3rd in the East when Vic went down all the way to falling out of the playoffs in the East. I'd be shocked if that were to happen.
Well, that'd be, how embarrassing that would be for everybody there? You think about it.
Yeah.
That would. I think the embarrassment far outweighs what people view as the benefits of doing something like that. To me, if you're competitive, far outweighs it. All right. See, J. Cole, for example, says you can't say, look at Sabonis now. He shows up way more than Turner. I didn't say that. I like Sabonis. But remember when I told everybody it's good that you have 2 big guys like that. Embrace it like that. this is the point in time where you see guys kind of wear to the nub a little bit. And I'm sorry, Sabonis looks tired right now. Nothing against him. I mean, he still had a nice season, but he does look tired right now, and has nothing to do with a comparison to Miles. So, see, that's where people are always comparing the two when it comes to me, and I like them both. I'm glad they're both on the same team, but
you want them both on the same team.
Others don't. I mean, others, it's like one or the other for a lot of these jack-arounds around here.
Yeah.
So,
No. I mean, listen, like you said, Miles balled out last night. And while Sabonis is trying to get that second wind or whatnot, Miles picks his slack. So when Miles is slumping, you have Sabonis to back him up and everything, to pick up his slack and everything. So you can't have both. That notion, why not have what is wrong with having two, solid big men?
Oh, it's got to be one or the other around here. Don't you know that? Right, one or the other. And make yourself worse. Make your team worse because it's going to be one or the other. See, that's the way it's always been around here, man. That's what I got to deal with it. That's why I don't go back. I could go back. I could have went back last night, but what's the use? They lost, and that sucked worse than anything. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah. And I thought they were going to win that game, and I stopped paying attention.
Well, when I start puking because Terrence Ross scored 30, then I realized that, yeah.
Yes! Or DJ August. I mean, I didn't even realize DJ Augustine was still in the league.
Oh, God. I mean, you believe that? I don't know. Washington was embarrassing. Washington was embarrassing, but that was a game last night that they needed. Hey, I got to run here, but thanks as always for sitting in here. I appreciate it.
Be good, brother. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Man.
Have a great weekend. Mike Wells of ESPN.com. I'm going to give you time and anything goes. That's coming up at the top of the hour. I got a quick break. Back with you next.
Museum by Moonlight at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis is back Saturday, February the 23rd. Register to win a pair of tickets online now, 1070thefan.com.
Hey, Dan Dockich here, and I have a perfect thing for you to spend your tax refund on. How about yourself? Now's the perfect time to get LASIK from 2020 Institute. I've been telling you about my life-changing LASIK experience with 2020 Institute. It was safe, it was painless, and most importantly, it worked. Tell them Dan sent you and get $700 off and payments as low as $101 per month. Visit 2020 Indy now to book your free consultation. That's 2020indy.com.
Hi, my name is Andrew, the founder of 4hims.com. 4hims is a wellness site that is dedicated to solving the specific issues men deal with. We're here to help you access real medical solutions to hair loss, ED, and much more. At 4hims.com, you can work with a doctor online, and if they determine a prescription is right for you, you can have that medication sent right to your home at affordable prices. You don't have to deal with setting up an in-person doctor's appointment. Just come to 4hims.com and we'll walk you through the rest. Now you have easier, more affordable access to the prescriptions, products, and medical advice you need. At 4hims.com, we're here for you.
As a special introductory offer, we'll give you your first order of prescription ED medication for just $5. Just go to 4hims.com/promo. Get started today for just $5 at 4hims.com/promo. That's FORHIMS.com/PROMO.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. See website for full details.
7-time Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter John Mayer hits the road in 2019. An evening with John Mayer, performing songs spanning his entire career. Bankers Life Fieldhouse, August 12th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. There's more at JohnMayer.com.
Hey, John here for Diamonds Direct. For a limited time, a special finance offer is just for you. So mark your calendar, February the 4th through the 14th. For these 10 special days, you can get 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase at Diamonds Direct. Yeah, let me tell you again, 0 interest, 5 years on any purchase. Like a $3,000 pair of diamond earrings that you will love, just $50 a month. And Diamonds Direct's inventory has been expanded for the Valentine's Day, so you can make it a truly unforgettable experience. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, designer jewelry, timeless gifts that she will appreciate for years. All going down February the 4th through the 14th, and only at Diamonds Direct. On approved credit, Keystone at the Crossing.
Are you an Indiana college student pursuing a degree in the broadcasting industry with a dream to work on air, behind the scenes, or in sales? Apply for the Indiana Broadcasters Foundation Scholarship. This year, the Broadcasters Foundation will award $50,000 in scholarships to deserving students who have their eye on a career in the broadcast industry. Eligible students can apply by Friday, February 15th at indianabroadcasters.org.
Hey, Dan Dockage here for Just Add Water Boats. There is nothing I love more than my Yamaha boat. Don't wait to buy that boat when it's hot out. Buy it now because the manufacturers like Yamaha are enticing you with great deals now. And Just Add Water Boats is having their best of show sales event where you can grab as low as 0 down and 4.99% APR or as low as 3.99% for the first 60 months on Yamaha boats. Visit at 465 on the east side or check them out online at justaddwaterboats.com.
The Pacers road trip continues in Miami tomorrow night at 7 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Hey, John Boy.
FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Hey, anything goes coming up here. Mike Wells, podcast 1070thefan.com. We spent every waking moment talking about Babyface and Miles Turner. I guess I don't get a lot of. I'll never get some of you. Now, being an elite level defender, 15-8, you're not going to take it, I guess. Whatever. Be one or the other. Just pissing and moaning about it all the time. And by the way, J. Cole, I wasn't making fun of Sabonis. That was just an observation. Why would I do that? I love Sabonis. I love Sabonis before any of you people around here knew the hell who he was. The observation was he looks tired. That's it. Miles Turner equals Bobby Portis. Not great. All right. Oh, man. Alex Golden writes this. I agree with Mike Wells on Miles Turner. I think this is Turner's ceiling right now. Turner's a good player, but he's not a number 2 option for a serious playoff contender. So what's wrong with being an elite level defensive player and being the 3rd option on a team? Is that wrong? Somebody's going to have to explain that to me. How's that bad? Where's the problem lie there? If things go the way that they're going. That's the question I ask. I mean, I agree he's a great defender, 3rd option. I have zero idea how he got there other than Wells brought it up. Same old thing. Yeah, 27-7. I wasn't going to bring it up. And as sure as hell, listen, I'm not going to go, I told you. Why would I do that? You just think I enjoy? I mean, who the hell enjoys fighting on Twitter? What kind of numbnut do you have to be to want to do that? It's from Ryan. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it kind of common for shot blockers to get few less rebounds because they're chasing block shots? Well, not in this case, because it's Miles and everybody's got to piss and moan about it around here. That's why. It's from John Orander. Can you ask Tony how many game winners he hit last night? How many game winners did he hit last night?
A couple.
Did you play on the little church court over there?
Yep.
Andrew Bailey says, I think the Pacers need to draft Hachimura. I like Hachimura, though. You know that. A little Gonzaga action right there. All right. What we got? We got a remix, if you will, of this week in Anything Goes, and then we got a real full-blown segment of Anything Goes. You know, you guys kind of got me pissy right now. I think some of you are a little bit pissy, so let's go ahead and get pissy together here. All right, that's what makes it entertaining. Yesterday, old man got on me. I don't know what. Like I'm getting. Like I am on the threshold of becoming an old man myself. But all the old men are mad at me right now. Why are all you old farts mad at me? I can't believe you're talking about naked women. I don't know if I was talking about naked women. I was talking about Kelly Lynch being more than ready in Roadhouse. I think she knew what she was doing. When you talk about that, I mean, I want to say, hey, hold on a second. I'm just about to become one of you. Chill out. We're going to be all in the same gang here in about a year or less. Quick break. All right, we got an all-star edition of the week of Anything Goes, and then we'll bring it to you at 239-1070. All unfiltered. Anything Goes next.
Hey, business owners, does your Wi-Fi ever slow down because of your customers? Do downloads lag when they stream videos? Ever tried to finish payroll while clients hog up your bandwidth? Then make the switch to Comcast Business. Our gig speed network is fast, and we go beyond fast when you add Wi-Fi Pro, which lets you allocate how much bandwidth you give to customers and your business. So while customers are busy streaming, emailing, and chatting, your employees can still be productive. Wi-Fi Pro on the nation's largest gig speed network. A great experience for your customers and your business. Switch to Comcast Business now for an amazing deal. Get 75 megabit internet for just $49.95 a month when you add 2 voice mobility lines and sign up for EcoBill and automatic payment. Wi-Fi Pro available for an additional charge. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 2/28/19. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment taxes and fees extra, subject to change.
Even the oldest water heaters are on call 24/7. Luckily, so are we. Hi, I'm Corey Kreitzberger, General Manager of your local Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. Water heaters wear out over time. Ready for a new one? We've got a variety of great finance options to fit any budget. Call now for a free 10-year warranty upgrade on a new water heater.
Go with the flow, the local pros. Call Benjamin Franklin Plumbing.
Terms, conditions, and tax may apply. License CP 101-00018.
Guys, erectile dysfunction got you down? The Indianapolis Men's Clinic's all-male staff specializes in treating ED and other sexual health-related issues. Call today for a consultation. 999-9000.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Buy 3, get 1 free on select in-stock sets of 4 Aspen Touring, AS Mesa, AP2 brand tires. Installation charges extra. See store for details.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, W228CX, Indianapolis. Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Collect them, trade them, or just enjoy them.
FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
That's why they call it a snapper.
Hey, JMV, this is Eddie from H.H. Gray.
Yeah, well, is this Mike and Mike? My caller number 7? Can you give me a Zion Williamson Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, I was wondering if you or Tony have reached out to Dwayne Allen or Dorsett to talk to them about the Pacey Nights from the Nerds. We have Bush.
Hey, just wanted to comment on the Pacers. First and the second rounder for Gordon Hayward. What'd you think about it?
Well, I'm a 1975 graduate of the Sycamores, and I got asked to leave 3 bars in one night.
How's it going there?
I'm great.
On line 3. Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm just wondering how you're going with the program you're doing today. I
how's
don't know
that
about
suit you?
talking about naked women is making it any better for you. I think your ratings are going to go downhill here on you pretty soon.
Man, it's warm right now. I'll be cold tomorrow. I work in a band doing soccer.
Well, horrible show, by the way. I listen it's awful, but I listen every single day. I went out to the home show. I wanted you to know because I bought a new house and I was going to meet out with the Connecticut people, and I got there about 7 o'clock, and it seemed that everybody was drunk off the Evan Williams because there's nobody in the booth.
Hey, drink Evan Williams every day, first off.
Well
Secondly, tired of hearing about James Harden. The guy's a ball hog.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Anything goes. This weather blows, okay? I'm just telling you.
It does that.
Hey, JMV, just want to let you know about the Tyreek Evans situation. He's not battling a back injury. They're having issues with him and his agent and Pacers on the way they play him.
Brooklyn Paulie, talk more about Purdue, baby. Start the show and end the show with Purdue. Forget about it. Nobody gets hurt. This is Johnny.
Go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, this is Doug.
That's the week. The week that was anything goes. All right. Let's see what we can do here. We got a final segment of it. We'll lead you up to the last word. Bottom of the 6 o'clock hour. 239-1070. My way, your way, anything goes. It is one of the most popular segments in the history of this station. Let's go ahead and light the fire right now. You guys already got me a little bit pissy, and then you guys are a little bit pissy. So we can all bring it together. We can all just be Friday pissy together. You know, whether it's the commute, the roads this morning, or the 2-hour delays that just hoses all up. Anybody that's a parent out there, anybody that has kids, the 2-hour delay is the worst thing ever. I mean, either the whole day or let's just take a minute normal time. There is nothing worse, nothing than the 2-hour delay. We can go there. We can go IU. We can go Butler. Not good conversations. We can go Pacers, 4 consecutive losses. Do that. Super Bowl, Patriots, Rams, anything. It's my way, your way. It is anything goes. It is the most unfiltered segment in the history of radio in this market, and there is no competition. We'll see how long it lasts. And we don't check you in. We just bring you on board. 239-1070. Start here. Anything goes. Who's this?
John, what's up, big fella? It's Brian.
Brian, what's happening?
Man, my biggest concern, how the heck is TJ Leaf leading us in score in the second quarter, man? How does that happen?
It is a frightening aspect.
How is he on the floor? I just don't get it, man. Hey, have a good weekend.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to anti-TJ Leaf. See if we can go next level on this. Thank you. JMV, anything goes. Maroon 5 and Travis Scott. Wait a minute. I thought you said the Foo Fighters are playing Saturday night. The Foo Fighters are playing Saturday night. Foo Fighters tomorrow night, everybody. But that's not the Super Sunday thing. The Foo Fighters are in Atlanta tomorrow. Joseph Fenton Faust, JMV, you sound a bit crotchety right now. But you know, sorry. But you know what? So am I. Watching these Pacer and Hoosier squads. Bring on baseball, go Braves. Thank you, Joseph Fenton Faust. My way, your way, anything goes. Line 1. Who's this?
This is Dave.
Hello, Dave.
I got two things, JMV.
2 things.
First of all, 38 points in the fourth quarter last night. You and I and Tony and a couple others could play better defense than that.
It sucked. It was awful. Correct.
And secondly, what happened to Michael Grady? My gosh, that's sad. And Jeff Rickard, would Jeff Rickard please let somebody finish their conversation before he interrupts them? Thanks. That's all I got to say.
All right. Yeah, this is probably not going to last very long. I'll tell you, it's the most unfiltered show in the history of Indianapolis radio. And I just said Indianapolis like I was born in 1925. Indianapolis. I want to be like my grandma and call Iowa here in a second.
We're down at the creek.
Iowa. The most unfiltered segment in the history of indie radio continues. It's anything goes. Hello.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Is this the Cash song?
Is this the what? I didn't hear it.
Is this the Cash song?
The Cash song, yes.
Yeah.
The Cash.
There you go.
The Cash song is R.I.P. James Ingram. Find 100 ways. You won. Go ahead, brother.
Fantastic.
Go ahead.
All I got to say is an Indianapolis dilemma. How do you cheer for either L.A. in anything, or New York, or the Patriots? What do you do, man?
I think you cheer for screwing up, right? And then you don't really care who wins, but you just cheer for screwing up. You want to see screw-ups, right? You want to see foobar, correct?
That's exactly what I was saying. The worst all possible, yep.
Right on the money.
My daughter tells me we are exactly alike, so we're on the same page as always. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Tell your daughter thank you very much. That's a great thing right there. How in the world do you have Hoosier Park and Indiana Grand, and you don't give these guys the opportunity to have casino tables, and you do this video bull crap? If they don't vote this the right way next week, I'm going to rip all those lumps of coal up their butt guys over there. Seriously. All these tight butts over there. All these political game-playing tightwads. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here, let's play some blackjack here with Video Chick here. Come on.
Congratulations, you have blackjack. Oh, so does the dealer on this damn machine.
That's so weird. How does that happen? Because it's not real. My way, your way, anything goes. Hello.
JMV.
Yes, sir.
Center Grove Sam, what's going on, buddy?
Hello, Center Grove Sam. What do you got down there on the south side for me?
Yeah, two things real quick. You know my son Timmy, right?
I do.
So he's got a Mustang GT, but he doesn't like driving it in the snow. So Dad gets stuck driving this thing all over. Oh, John, it's killing me.
Brother, I can't imagine driving a Mustang GT, a Dodge Challenger, a Dodge Charger, anything like that right now, because you don't have much control right there, do you?
I got nothing, John. It's up for grabs. So, hey, and the other thing, John, yep. I just started watching The Sopranos. I'm binge watching Sopranos on Amazon Prime. Why can't it be like that, John? Why can't the world be like that?
You want to live like The Sopranos? I tell you what, it's great. I'd go back and watch the entire thing because it's as good right now as it was then.
It truly is, John. It truly is. So, Hey, have a great weekend, buddy. Good talking to you.
You got it. I believe they're making a feature film, right, with Gandolfini's son playing? Yeah, Soprano, it'd be hard-pressed to find anything better than that. 239-1070. My way, your way, anything goes. Line 2, who's this? Hello.
Hello?
Hello there. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, I want to see what you think about the Colts taking Kareem Hunt this offseason.
I think that would be a horrendous idea here. I don't think that would work at all here. Don't think it would work a second. I don't think it's going to work a second here. Somebody will, though. I don't, honestly, you may laugh at me, so get ready to laugh. I don't really think at running back it's necessary. Like, wide receiver-wise, maybe a guy of that talent level is necessary. I don't think at running back here to have a guy with that baggage at that level of talent is necessary. I don't mind their running back situation right now. Am I wrong?
I think his catching ability out of the backfield is just almost second to none.
Yeah. You know, and people there that in Kansas City told me that wasn't the only time he's ever been a jackass. He's apparently been pretty much of a jackass his entire career. So, I don't know, man. That's a role. I'm not willing to take that. So, call me crazy. What else?
All right, have a good day.
Thank you. I don't know. What I heard, my friend Sarim Petro, who hosts the show there, basically said he was a jackass the entire time. And I'm not that worried about the running back position. Somebody will sign him, though. Anything goes. Line 4 at 239-1070. Go ahead.
What's up, John? Hey, a caller earlier was talking about he's wanting TJ Leaf not to play or anything. I mean, the guy's not going to be on the team beginning of next year anyway, so you might as well get him some run. Hope he can play well. Maybe trade for him here next week. I mean,
I don't want this season. I don't want this season to be over in February, though. You know, I don't want to be thinking about. It's just, I want these guys to show some signs. I don't think they're as bad as what we've seen over the past 4 games, or at least I wouldn't like to believe it. Thanks for the call. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. JMV, Roadhouse is one of the worst films in the history of films. You see, that's why you're sending an email there and not calling this in, jackass, is why.
You gotta be kidding me.
Come on, man. It's got everything that a red-blooded American man would want to see. You got fighting, you got nudity, you got drinking, you got rampant stuff, you got living in a barn, you got hauling tires in your trunk.
She was waiting for him outside the bar with barely any clothes on.
Smoking cigarettes, mullet, you got monster trucks. You got wrestlers. You got wrestlers playing roles. I mean, what the hell else do you want?
One thing I got to ask you about that movie.
Right.
Who was the lead singer of the band? Because the blind guy, at times, they would cut to him, and somebody would be singing, and he would just be not singing. So
Jeff Healy is the late Jeff Healy is the lead singer, or was, of the Jeff Healey Band.
But there are times where they cut to the look at the band and somebody's singing and he's not. His lips aren't moving.
Hey, I have a great impression of Jeff Healey when Wade Garrett shows up. Is that bad of me to when I say, ladies and gentlemen, Wade Garrett? Is that bad?
Yeah, I hate you.
Is that terrible?
Yeah. Why would you? What is wrong with you?
That's so bad, isn't it? That's got to be bad karma.
You know.
Ladies and gentlemen,
wait,
you can't. If you see me on YouTube right now, you get it. But Wade Garrett.
This is
Was that?
You remember?
Did it take like 5 takes to get that one down, or what?
You remember a couple months ago when we were like, "Hey, man, your discretion is a little off."
It is a little bit. Yeah. I know.
We're right back to it.
Line 5, the most unfiltered segment in the history of indie radio is Anything Goes. Who's this?
It's Sugar Cane Monroe.
Sugar Cane Monroe. This is going to be good. Go.
I was just wondering if you or Tony had heard if there's a prop bet that the fire alarm goes off in the Rams Super Bowl or in the Rams Hotel Saturday night.
What do you think? Wait, who's pulling that? Is McDaniels over there and his weaselness pulling that thing? Is he pulling it down?
It's McDaniels. It's somebody over there. We know it's going to happen.
What do you think? Is there a prop bet on pulling the fire alarm in the Rams Hotel?
I don't know. You got to think that you would be subject to a major arrest, right?
Yeah. Sugar Cane Monroe, strong material as usual. I count on Sugar Cane Monroe. Seriously, did somebody just send me, stop with the Roadhouse being bad crap? No, it's one of the all-time great dude films. We have our films, dude films. It's a dude film. Dude film. Yeah, you got into this bar with a JCPenney credit card. Hey, you're my Saturday night thing. Hey, Steve, you're fired. It's all good stuff.
It's always Barber College.
Fantastic writing. We're unfiltered. And Everything Goes. Line 4 is at 239-1070. Go ahead. Who's this?
Hi, this is Matt.
Hello, Matt. Go ahead.
Hi, I just want to say, JMV, love your show.
Thank you, buddy.
And I got a recommendation for people that are getting tired of Pacer basketball losing and IU basketball tanking this year.
Okay.
There's a great college wrestling match on tonight. Number 1 Penn State versus number 4 Michigan. And it's on Big Ten Network, and it's going to be some great matches tonight.
Do you have a rooting interest? Is the reason why you're shouting that out here? What do you got?
Well, I got a brother that lives in State College in Penn State, and he goes to every one of the home matches. They sell out every single home match.
They do?
15,000 plus every match, yep.
They only get 5 people at basketball games there. But then they get the 5 people they get all are like standing on top of the damn microphone like they were last night versus Purdue. It makes it unwatchable, though. Hey, thank you for listening, and tell your brother we said hello. I doubt if my option is going to be wrestling tonight. I tell you what, the other night I would have rather have watched Dances with Wolves than anything was on Wednesday. From the beginning, the Butler game to the IU game to the Pacer game to Indiana State. And it would have taken Dances with Wolves. I would have watched that, and that's like one of the worst movies of all time. Dances with Wolves is the equivalent of a Meatloaf song.
I was just
seriously.
Wow, stop.
It's like listening to Meatloaf.
I almost said Wednesday was like
it's like Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
You. All right, so we're gonna have to just stop hanging out because that's exactly where I was going with that. So
I would do anything but love, but I won't do that.
Oh no.
No, here's what you need to do. How about making the song like 3 minutes shorter? All right, how about doing that?
What's
Loaf?
the movies that you say should be shorter too?
Anything Stanley Kubrick,
there you go, yeah.
The Shining.
You could have cut out about 15 minutes.
I love Full Metal Jacket, but you could have cut out about 15 minutes of Full Metal Jacket too if you wanted to. You could Clockwork Orange, easily 15 minutes you could cut out. Any Stanley Kubrick film, Eyes Wide Shut, easily 15 minutes of that. I love Stanley Kubrick, the late great Stanley Kubrick, as a director and a writer. But listen, you can do that. You can do that with Tarantino. I know that's blasphemy to say it, but you can take out. I love Pulp Fiction, but you can't tell me you could not subtract 15 minutes of that and it not be better. It's just a lot of dialogue going on, a lot of yip yapping. There's some useless yip yapping. Most unfiltered segment in indie radio history is Anything Goes. Who's this?
Johnny 5.
This is me. Listen. Are you there? Who's this?
Hello.
Great phone call right
Coming
there.
up, more football.
I love anything goes. Matthew Reeves says Roadhouse should be 0 minutes. Yeah. You sound like a lot of fun, Matt. Like an enema. How about Matt sounds like a day of root canals and enemas right there. Thanks, Matt, for your input. Hey, Matt, yeah, you want to go out with us? Yeah, probably I'd rather go have an enema. Yeah, you got a root canal scheduled today? Yeah, I'm going to hang out with Matt. Anything goes at 239-1070. Hello. How are you?
Hey.
Who's this?
Not bad. This is Jake from Northwest Side.
Jake from the Northwest Side's got something to say. Go.
I just got a couple things. First thing is I just wanted to remark on how hilarious it is that when people first hear the hello, they feel like a deer in the headlight. It's like,
Yes, absolutely.
It's a great call right there. Yes, I think that's part of the charm of the unfiltered segment here. I think. Yeah.
Oh man, it's great. It's a great segment. And then also, man, you're just agreed with the guy on The Sopranos. You got to have that same patience with movies. Kubrick, man, not a second wasted.
Oh, dude. No. The interview process and all that stuff was boring as hell. Was it not?
I do see that about Full Metal Jacket. I got to agree there. That's my least favorite. I mean, the first half is just such a great, great half.
It is good. There are some films out there where I say this about Eddie Murphy Raw. Eddie Murphy Raw was great the first 35 minutes, and then I thought terrible afterwards. And
I completely agree.
And
with that.
I think that the bar was set so high with Full Metal Jacket that the part in Nam and the actual fighting and what was going on, I thought it found it hard to live up to how great Basic Training was.
Right. You can't beat Arlie Emery. He's great. But that's all I got for you, JMV. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. The late, great Arlie Emery. Tony, did you know, once upon a time, spent, I think, an entire hour with me out at Mount Comfort Airport during the air show.
Oh, nice.
And he was awesome.
Nice.
Anything goes at 239-1070. Go ahead.
JMV, this is Kyle on the west side. How are you, sir?
Great to hear from you. Thank you.
I just had a follow-up to one of your previous callers' comments. I know that when I'm in the existential doldrums of life in regards to my sports teams, the one thing I want to do is watch dudes wrestle around in tights and singlets. I'm so glad that advice has come across your airwaves. I'd like to thank that guy personally.
We aims to please, my brother. We aims to please. Have a great weekend. How much longer do we have here? I love this.
Minute 10.
All right. Let's go to quick pace here. Line 1 at 239-1070. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, JMB, it's Minnesota Roar.
Hello, Roar! What's the temperature up there? Is it minus 45? You betcha.
It's a balmy 17 right now.
Can I go, for Pete's sake? You betcha.
Holy crap. Holy cow, dear, go out there doing some ice fishing with some walleye. Holy cripes.
What's going on?
Oh, you're breaking out in Fargo. Go quick.
Hey, real quick, you talked about getting locked in a mall?
Yes, I did.
That happened. In early 80s, we were going to the Who concert, me and a bunch of Marines, and we were all doing acid and stuff, and a guy walked into a Target, one of our group. He passed out in the change room, and we couldn't find him. So we screw it. Maybe he found a girl or something. We went to the concert. 2 days later, he finally showed up. The cleaning crew found him, and they didn't let him go. They called the cops. So he got busted for public intoxicating trespassing.
Re-rack that, Tony. Re-rack it for Roar. I'm sorry. We had to hang with Roar. Can you re-rack that? Do we have to? Roar, thank you. Northern Minnesota Roar. I'm sorry. We have to re-rack it. We cannot end without hearing that entire story right there.
You want to hear it again?
No. I'm going to get these guys going. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I want to see if we can top it
We
here.
might bring back that Monday.
Line 2. Who's this?
This is Kim.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Go ahead. Can you go quick?
Yep, I just want to know who you think, other than a quarterback, is going to be the most productive player in the Super Bowl this weekend.
All right, other than a quarterback, I'm going to say thank you, Kim, for the phone call. I'm going to give you James White of the Patriots, Tony, on Sunday. What do you think? James White's your MVP. Tony, who do you have?
I'm going to go Gurley, but I expect a big game out of Cooper Kupp as well.
I love you guys. You're awesome. It is the most unfiltered segment in the history of indie radio. It's anything goes. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Tony, great job. Bob Lovell, JJ, Don Fisher, Mike Wells. What a great week. Last word. Jimmy Bad Dog Madison, Matt Taylor's next.
Here's what's happening with the Fan.
The 2019 Circle City Donut Dash, hosted by Teachers Treasures, is Saturday, February the 16th. Register now to run an Indy's tastiest 5K at 1070thefan.com. The Fan is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Like and follow the Fan for updates on all things Indy Sports Center. And you go to our website and you can find out where the next Fan event will be. Check out all of our live remotes, appearances, and more under the Events tab.
For more info, click on IndySportsCenter.com.
How much do you need to save for retirement? Hi, I'm Rick Edelman, founder of Edelman Financial Engines. The question's simple, but the calculation can be complex. How much you need to save for retirement depends on how much income you want, what outside sources you'll have, like Social Security and pensions. And here's the good news. You don't have to guess. We can give you the answer. For more than 32 years, we've shown people just like you how much you need to save for retirement and how to invest it. And now's your chance. Call us for the personal financial advice and investment management services you need with local offices to serve you. At Edelman Financial Engines, we're happy to help you whether you have a little to invest or a lot or anything in between. Come see why thousands of folks just like you rely on Edelman Financial Engines. Call us at 888-PLAN-RIC. That's 888-PLAN-RIC. Or visit us at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com.
Did the words bezel and pave leave you feeling confused? We get it. Not everyone speaks diamond, but at Helzberg,